bunch of frames here at Extensive, but never an all-tube chassis before. You get a little nervous of how big of a project something like this is. You know, one of my favorite vehicles just rolled into lot, the Hummer H1.
We need help getting a cage built.
They're going to use this as their chase truck, and they want it really safe.
We want to do one more thing. Oh, man.
I told you I had something for you.
That's crazy.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Off-road buggy. You know, I want something that's going to go anywhere, do anything, and not have any issues. That's what brings me out here today. What stronger chassis is out there than a monster truck? You know, a friend of mine, Dylan, told me I could come out today and just drive his around, get a feel for it. You know, see what this chassis, this suspension's all about. Trucks, what can I say? There's not a better truck on the planet. A day like this is a dream come true. From a little kid going in the arenas, seeing the monster trucks jump, run around, just go crazy. I mean, today is an awesome day. To finally get to do that in person while doing some research, good day.
Well,
man,
what do you think?
Man, I appreciate that, man. That's every guy's dream to get to do that.
No problem. It's a big tumble buggy, really, you know.
The one thing I'm really interested in is the chassis design itself. I've had a bunch of toys over the years, and, you know, side-by-sides, and right out the box, you take them out, and they fail 50% of the time.
Yeah.
You know, I want to build a tube chassis buggy with a lot of horsepower, big wheels and tires, and I want to be able to take it wherever I want to take it and not have issues. So I was thinking, what is the strongest chassis around that's been, you know, tried and true? And you got it right.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's not any.
Yeah, we put them through its paces, you know, like we jump 20, 30 feet every weekend, you know. There's really no weak point on the chassis.
Right. I know you guys designed this on a computer.
You know, this one was designed in a program called SolidWorks. You can literally build the chassis, manipulate it, and not only that, you can strength test it and everything like that. So that's really the cool part, is you can test like the weaknesses, and you know, if you got to add a bar or something like that, you can literally take that and then extract the files. And then if you want to send it to a guy that cuts it, you know, they can perfectly tube notch every tubing. So it'd be like a big puzzle piece, you know. You just put it together.
I can definitely do that.
I feel like that's what you need.
For sure.
There you go. And then you'd be doing backflips and everything else like me.
I don't know about that.
Come on now.
Thank you.
Ain't no problem. Thanks for coming out.
Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. See you later.
You know, I'm known for hand-making chassis, and I'm proud of it. But man, after driving this thing, I'm ready to give the new computer age a shot. Maybe just this one time. Vehicles just rolled into lot. The Hummer H1, iconic, just military, tough truck. I'm gonna go outside and see what's going on with it. What's up, fellas?
Hey, Bill, how's it going? What's
happening,
man? Good.
Come on, Mafia guys, huh?
Yeah, you got
the Hummer guys?
Absolutely, that's what we do. Guys.
Man, I love these H1s, man. Every American needs one of these, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. They're like nothing else. This started as a 2001 Hummer H1 wagon, so the full top civilian.
Oh, it had.
Yep, with
stripped the wagon roof off, full interior AC seats, rear, all that stuff. And we're down 2,200 pounds, so 6,200 pounds right now.
The Mod Mafia guys, they got a cool custom shop as far as just H1 enthusiasts. They sell their parts and pieces all over the world. They are very, very well known with a great reputation. You guys are the H1 guys. What do you need from me?
We need help getting a cage built, roll cage. Metalwork, that's what y'all do. We're going to be using this as a trail truck our time back too. We want to make it rad, make it safe, and safety and roll cages is not quite in our wheelhouse. We need your help to do that.
Yeah, you're not taking this on some crazy trails. You flip this sucker over, you're going to die, right?
Yeah, it'd be real bad with what it's got sitting there right now.
Definitely. So, trail truck, you're not going to make it pretty shiny.
No, we got other trucks for that. This one is meant to go see some pain. It's meant to be beat up and scratched. So it's meant to be like this, but we're wanting you to put some design in it and kind of zazz it up because that's what's going to be the showcase of this truck.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be the restoration of it.
And just a cage for
the front
or all the way back to the back?
The front. I think it's important just to kind of put some of the cage where it's protecting the body so we don't just absolutely crush it in.
Something out here in case you do rub against a tree or...
This is aluminum.
Yeah.
It's very malleable. It's going to crush.
Right. So coming around, coming down, tying into here, bolt to the body, tying into the frame, but you also want it to protect the side as well.
The rear fender. Yep.
This is going to be real cool.
We want to do one more thing.
What's that?
We want to have a mount on the top for a machine gun.
Oh, most definitely.
Not as this only going to be a trail truck, we're going to go have some fun in it too.
Man, that makes my day.
What's going to be cooler than an extensive roll cage, a trail truck mount on top? I can't think of anything.
So you're wanting the cage to protect the two drivers.
Yep.
Come all the way back to the back, protect the out part of the body, and to be able to shoot from the top also.
Oh yeah.
And I get to shoot it, right?
Oh yeah, you're gonna get to shoot it. Yeah, of course.
Well, man, let's go make it official.
Cool. All right, let's do it.
You know, I love coming to work every day. It's always something different. You know, one day we're bolting on chrome, polishing paint. Next day we get to work on something rough and rugged, just like this H1. That's what I like about projects like this. You just get in, get to work, build some cool stuff, and go have fun with it. It doesn't matter about fit and finish or your color. It matters how tough, how just mean it looks, and the whole overall flow of the project with a whole lot of safety built in. You know, this truck's going to be going where most trucks will never, ever go. And when it comes time to that day that this truck might be upside down on its roof, you got to make sure it's going to be safe. Man, I love projects like this that you don't have to worry about how gentle you shut a door. You don't have to worry about where you park. There's no stress. It's a stress reliever.
Why do we have a camo Hummer in the parking lot? Did you sell your side-by-side?
I'd really like to have one of these, but that's not what we're talking about today. But you know, the Mod Mafia guys, this is theirs. You know, they go to competitions all over the country, you know, going through ravines, trails, whatever it is. They're going to use this as their chase truck, and they want it really safe. So there's not going to be a roof or anything on it. So we're going to build a custom cage to cover all this.
I understand why they want a little bit of safety, man. Them guys go through some crazy stuff. They do some big terrains. They really push them Hummers. So you're building just another cage from here to here, and just going all the way.
You know, we don't want it to go all the way back and down. He wants it more of a two-seater style cage, and then come down and, you know, something that's going to protect the sides. The thing we got to really get creative with is attaching it to the frame itself. On the H1, the frame's inboard, so this is the frame rails right here. So there's not much at all as far as strength on the outer points of this. So if it does flip over, just that, you know, connecting to the outer points ain't really going to do it.
You want it to look cool, like it's meant for this vehicle, but we want it to be super strong.
That's it. And we got a little bonus on this. We're going to put a swivel gun mount up here.
Like a real mount a gun up there and go fire?
Yeah. So I told him, man, I don't have a problem doing that for you. It's going to be real cool.
All right, well, let me find out what bay we can put it in. We can get started on that. Let's get going.
Let's do it, man. Before we can design the roll cage, we need a much stronger foundation to build upon. So I'm having Tim bend some new pans to cover the body of the top of the truck.
Right now, this is just aluminum. there's really no strength. This whole thing just moves. So we're making a whole cover for this. I will make a template out of this chipboard that's going to cover all this. We're basically going to make a plate break down the sides and also come and break this way and in the front. So next we're going to bend this chipboard on the brake. I know it looks a little crazy, but what it's going to do, it's going to put me a crease all the way down it that I know where this needs to bend, where the ends need to bend. I can place it over the top of the truck. When this fits perfect, I'll give it to Jesse and he can burn me 2 of them out. You know, this is one of the reasons that I like doing the template first is I can come in and make some little adjustments here, like on this corner, how the tailgate indents in right here. I know I need to cut this out, but it's easier to do it on this template, and then when he burns it out over there, I can put everything up here. It's 100%.
Some of my favorite builds have been just like this 2001 H1. It's just a great truck to build off of. Once Timmy finishes reinforcing the back end, we're going to make a roll cage that fits this thing perfectly.
We're going to line up our mark here and here. We'll put this in the brake. We'll put it on 90 degrees. Bend that corner, we'll flip it. Do this corner, we'll take it to the truck. We got rid of all the holes, the indentions, the lines, the rivets, everything, and it just cosmetically looks better. But it's going to make the whole truck come together as one piece. How's it look down there, Jamie?
Man, it's perfect. You did a good job. I mean, bends on point. It's nice and solid, man. It's way better than what we had before.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we know everything fits. Go ahead and start welding the corners together. First time I ever seen a Hummer was actually on the train car. I mean, you know, just driving on the highway, we're taking a family vacation, and, you know, all of a sudden I see all these Humvees on his train car. Like, wow, man, those things are crazy. So getting to work on one, you know, and make it better, I mean, it just doesn't get no better than these things. These things are bulletproof. I mean, mud, you can climb a tree with one of these things.
The body of this thing's aluminum. So we're using a steel, so you can't weld the two together. So what we have to do now, drill the bolt holes in it. They'll be bolted from the back, from the front, from the outside, and the inside. So it'll be 100% stronger, and then we're ready for the cage. And if anything ever did happen, they need to access something, they can unbolt this and see what's going on. All right, now we got that where we want it. I'm gonna go ahead and lay out the inside. I'll go ahead and drill those, bolt those, and we'll continue the process for the outside and the front.
What's she doing?
Come see old Dad.
Yeah. Go see. It's probably gonna cost me money.
Guarantee it.
What you doing, girl?
I just want to come down. Hi.
You just want to come see me today?
Yeah. I mean, I was...
Come on now. What'd you do to your car?
Nothing. I haven't done anything to it.
It's always good when your kids show up to work, but, you know, when it's a surprise, you got that little apprehension of what are they here for? What do they want? How much is this going to cost me?
I mean, I love this car, and it rides so high, you know, like I've gotten made fun of for that, and the wheels. I mean, just the wheels, like, there's not anything special about them.
Oh, poor little 17-year-old got a brand new car.
I know, it's just, I don't know. You see, like, my mom's car, you know, like, you know, hers is cool, and, like, you always say, like, you know, you can't have her riding around with, like, you know, a really stock car. I don't know. I want to have a cool car, too, just like everyone else.
I can definitely understand the age she is. You know, 17 years old, your personality is wanting to come out. And that's just one more form of your personality come out, is customizing your car. So, is this your way of shaking me down for some wheels and tires and lowering your car? Is that what you're doing?
Kinda. I'd want to, yeah.
It's not your birthday.
I know, but just like, I don't know, I've been wanting to do it for a while, you know? I've had this car for like about a year and a half. It's my first car. You know, it was a cool car to begin with, but I mean, like, once I had it longer, I just wanted to do stuff to it just to make it that much better. I don't know, I just want to do something to it,
you know what? That makes me real proud that you want to have a
I want to represent what you do, too. Yeah, with my car.
Most 17-year-old girls could care less with.
Exactly. I want to do stuff to my car. I want to make it look, I want to make it stand out and be something different.
And what'd you name her?
Caroline.
Yeah. Wheels and tires. Probably like a 22, like a blacked out 2022 on here.
Yeah.
I know you like to have it all blacked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you put that on, it's got to be lower, right?
Yeah.
Probably change the grill out too, man. Something cool,
Yeah.
you know, in the front also, right?
Yeah. That look great.
You know, your first paycheck went to the air intake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got the cool exhaust on it already.
Mm-hmm.
You already got the louvers on the back. So, yeah. You know what? I definitely want you to have a cool car, too. You know, I'll make a deal with you.
Okay.
The stipulation is that you're going to work on it with me.
Okay.
So you're going to get your butt in the shop, get dirty, and get after it. So if I say, hey, hand me that tool, right here, I got it. Hold on, I'm texting somebody.
Okay. So if I do help you, then we will put them on there? Like, actually? Okay. That'd be cool.
That sound good?
Yeah.
Is that a deal?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go pick out some wheels.
Okay.
I tell you what, you talk about a proud dad, that's this guy right here. You know, my kids having especially my daughter, that makes me very, very proud, and it's like the coolest thing ever. She got her first job working at a restaurant. She got her first paycheck, and she came up to the shop and ordered an air intake. So the enthusiasm is there. She wants to fix it up. She wants to look cool when she's riding down the road, and we're going to get her hooked up. You know, it's pretty cool to say she's a chip off the old block. You know, she wants to roll up and people know she's there. And it's really cool when you do roll up, somebody says, hey, where'd you get that done? She gets to say, you know, I did it. You know, be able to bond with my daughter, teach her some stuff, let her get dirty, learn some things. It's a win-win for both of us. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm excited too. You've been really taking care of this. You've been doing good in school. I'm proud of you. So, first things first, we'll get it on the lift, get it jacked up. Really, the main important thing is when you're putting the car on the lift, is finding the right points when the whole weight of the vehicle is on it. You just don't want to put it underneath there and pick it up.
Yeah.
You got to find the proper pickup points on it. If not, you'll crush the floor, crush fuel lines, electrical lines. There's all that stuff hanging underneath the car. So it's important to find that. Good.
I really want this car to look good, so I don't really mind, you know, getting my hands dirty and working on it, you know? I'm excited for what it'll look like later.
All right, you get that one?
Yeah. Bam, nice touch. So we're gonna take the nut off of the coilovers and then put the new springs on. It's really cool to have a dad who knows so much about cars. I feel like I didn't even used to like cars until I got my car. If I didn't have a dad who did this stuff, I would be trying to save like so much money to try and do this stuff, and I probably wouldn't even try. But having a dad who does it, it's really cool. I'm really lucky, you know?
So you got the top loose already? So the only thing we have to do now, there's a little bracket for the sway bar here.
Okay.
We'll take that loose, and we can take the whole spring out, and then we'll replace it right off this.
Okay.
So right now, grab a socket that fits on the sway bar bracket, and while you're doing that, go ahead and find the one for the bottom also.
Okay. The first thing that I've done to my car, the intake, I've worked on with my dad a little bit. I tried to put it together by myself, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And then he's helped me spray paint the taillights, and then we've worked on the exhaust for it too. And this is by far, though, like the most hands-on I've been. The tighter coils at the front.
We got the coilovers out, old springs off of the 2020 Challenger. Now Presley and I are installing the new springs. They're going to get her car a little bit lower. Way down.
They look awesome. I love that they're red because it sticks out way better than like how it was black.
There we go.
Yeah.
So before we put the wheels and tires on, there's one more thing we got to do. Put that grill in. I know you want to see that too.
Yeah. You have to wait all the way till the end to see the wheels.
Yeah. It's like the cherry on top. It just rushed right into that.
I guess. Okay. Well, let's get it done.
Well, let's do it. You ready to do that?
Yeah.
Let's tackle it. You know, it makes me real proud to have her in the shop working, getting her hands dirty, being appreciative for what we're doing and learning in the process. So, really good day for Dad.
Come on with it. Keep going. All right, stop. All right, bottom. All right.
What you think?
It looks amazing.
All blacked out.
Yeah.
It just looks mean coming at
It
you.
looks mean. Oh my gosh, it looks awesome.
Wheel surprise for you. Come on, bring it on in, man. Check them out.
Oh my
The
god.
22s.
Those are awesome.
The TIS 22s.
Yeah.
Those are brand new.
Oh my
Those are
gosh.
cool.
Those are so cool.
You want to put them up? You see what it looks like with it on there?
Yeah.
Well, let's do it.
It looks awesome. It looks way better than how it did before.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
I'm jealous too, and it's my car.
Thank you for your help. You did a great job today.
Yeah.
This buggy's really been keeping me up at night. A project like this, to somebody who creates, fabricates, welds, there isn't a more exciting project than this. We built a bunch of frames here at Extensive, but never an all-two chassis before. I got the wheelbase established on what I think is going to be a good proportion for the buggy. The whole inspiration for this is these 58-inch tall tires. I mean, just seeing these tires, I got excited. I want something to put them on. We're finding some military axles, then from the military axles to the big diesel engine, 1,500 horsepower. Every part that's added to this, it just adds to the excitement the whole way. It's like an art project you actually get to drive and you have a whole lot of fun with. We're going to build everything 100% chromoly on this, so it's super light, super strong, so I can put myself, my family in it, and not have to worry about anything. I ain't going to lie, you get a little nervous of, how big of a project something like this is. You want it as big as possible, but it's still got to be somewhat practical to be able to transport and fit in the garage, and you just can't build it just totally massive. I want an off-road buggy, but I want something that has some style and has that sporty look, and I definitely want that sporty performance. Where better to take my hopes and dreams for a buggy than Racehorse? These guys design monster trucks. What's up? What's up, man?
Not a whole lot, man. How you been?
Man, real good, real good. You hard at it?
I'm hard at it every day.
I know that's right.
I'm a former monster truck driver. I actually campaigned one of the great bigger trucks for 26 years. It's for the racing industry. So now that I retired from driving, I'm full-time here in the shop where I manufacture purpose-built components for the monster truck industry. I build tube chassis, and I get to continue living my dream, doing something I love to do every day.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Not a monster truck, but this is what I need your help with. They're all notched perfectly.
That's what's so nice about designing a chassis in SolidWorks. You just draw it, you put the weld reliefs in, do all that.
Right.
And we send it out, and we have it CNC cut.
No waste.
No waste, very little waste. Everything fits up perfect. The biggest difference between hand building a truck and hand mitering and hand fitting all this is all the fittments. You can create some pretty intricate joints of tubing and different connections that would be just an absolute nightmare to hand notch and hand fit. By doing it in 3D, we're able to let our imagination run wild and build exactly what we want.
I see the advantage of that, and that's why I need your help, man, to make my drawings a reality.
Absolutely. Perfect.
The wheels and tires are 58 inches.
Wow. So that's monster truck size, so that's awesome.
Yeah, about 30 inches off the ground and about 6 foot from, top to bottom. I still want that.
Like it's going 100 mile an hour sitting still kind of
That's
look.
it. That's what I'm looking for.
Sway bars front and rear.
Man, for sure, because I'm going to drive it. I'm going to drive it.
I've seen some of your other projects and how you drive them, so yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Right.
Well, if you've got everything at your shop, what I need to do is send some guys over there with a 3D scanner. When we're done, we should be able to kind of see what we're going to be working with.
Man, I'm excited, man.
I can't wait to get started on this project. Get done with yours, I might need to build me one.
Yeah, there you go. some parts scanned for the buggy. So we got the axles on horses. We got the transmission bolted up to the engine. It's in place, so it's ready for the scanner.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, Bill.
Andrew, nice to meet you.
Man, badass. I'm really excited to see how you do this. This is exactly what we need right here. Is the positioning good for you? You're all set with what's here?
Everything looks good to me.
Cool, man. I'm going to let you get to it, man. Thank you for coming, man. And I'm excited to check it out once you're done. Holler if you need something.
Will do. So this is our ASUP scanning spray. You know, we're going to spray all the parts down for the scanner to pick up. This is going to brighten it up or dull it out, so our scanner can pick up all the detail in here and make sure we can pick up all the bolt holes, because that is super important. So next we're going to put our positioning targets on. They should just be done at random. There has to be 4 positioning targets within a 15-inch box. These positioning targets are for when we're scanning. If we see that, you know, maybe we missed a section over here, we want to rescan that. And then it's going to know exactly where it's scanning again because of the pattern of these positioning targets. So this is our Peel 2 3D scanner. This is basically going to take thousands of pictures and stitch them together into a 3D mesh file that we will then turn into a CAD file.
Now that we scan the engine, axles, and wheels, Pablo can get to it, designing that chassis.
Okay, so now what we're doing is we're taking the scan data that came in, and we're going to turn this into SolidWorks files and solid parts. Now that I have my wheelbase, my setback for my engine from the center line of my front axle, we can really start nailing this thing down. So next step on this would be to put seats in it so that we can see where the driver's going to sit. Got to get the family in there. One of the neat things about this tube chassis build is that you don't have to have a lot of mass and a lot of members to get a lot of strength out of it. I'm able to keep it fairly lightweight, yet extremely rigid and very safe, and, you know, in the case of a rollover. This thing has got a really aggressive looking stance, man. This thing is going to look awesome coming down the road towards you. Well, I've almost got this full chassis design done. I'm pretty confident. Most all our dimensions are all right. Our clearances are right. So I've got a few more little tweaks in here. I'm going to add a couple more bars. But then we'll extract each one of these tubes individually. And we'll put this thing on a pallet and ship it over to Bill and let them guys start putting it together.
If you like off-roading like I do, things can get sideways real quick, literally. The roll cage for the 2001 Hummer has to look cool, of course.
Just joking.
But more than anything, it's got to be bulletproof. You know, this is our long enough to do this here, so I'm checking, double checking, and rechecking to make sure everything's 100% right. There's a windshield wiper motor right in our path for the cage.
So center to the outside, we need 6 inches per side.
And how far out?
3's tight.
It'll give it 4 inches. So what we got going on is a little obstacle, a little bump in the road. If we make our cage perfect to this drawing and then go back and bend around that, it's going to shrink our cage in. So we're figuring out how far it's got to bump out. See what we need to go right there?
6.5, 6.5.
Yeah. To figure out how much length we need to add in between the 2 outside bends. So when we do bend it, it's going to shrink back down to the perfect width. So we're about to see how good we are. Okay, we know it's 24 inches. We line this up on the edge, on the outer part of our measurements here. So we know 12 inches from there is what we need.
12 from there is where we need to put center of that bend. Yeah, there's a couple of easier options. We could have done this. Could have made it in 2 pieces. Could have made it in 3. I enjoy this kind of stuff because it's more thinking. And me having a construction background, you always had to take blueprints the same way, but the blueprint's all in your head or you're laying it on a table. It's not computer generated. It's something you just lay out with some lines. A little bit back towards you. All right. Yep. You know, there's a lot of companies
companies that have these big scanners and have this, that everything's already pre-made, all the computers. Well, here we got to do it by hand. Not to say it'd be a better product, but it's a lot more self-satisfying to me knowing that we took a straight piece of pipe and fit it all in one piece.
Man, that's a real good start. I mean, this is the hard part.
All that work just for that one wiper motor.
Yeah. We'll get the body trimmed out here so we can get it even closer, and we'll start building all the way back from there. I love it. When stuff starts coming together. Me and Timmy got the flow going. I like how that kind of leans in right there. Looks good. Once it's flowing, all the creative juices start coming together, and it starts to become reality, which really gets exciting. You know, now we got the outer part of the structure done. The cage is looking really good. You know, the next step is building all the inner structure where it really makes it strong, rigid, and adds a lot of style to it. You know, it's really starting to take shape. You know, the main structure is all set in place. Really strong is adding all the bracing everywhere, the X bracing, and part that really makes the attitude come alive. You know, it's already safe, but we're going to make it really cool and really aggressive and just look mean. You know, in my experience, things are always more satisfying when you work hard for them. You know, after everything my daughter Presley's done to her 2020 Challenger, today's the day she gets to feel that satisfaction, and better yet, share it with her good friend.
Thank you for driving me.
Cool, so where's the car?
I think my dad said he was going to bring it out in a second. Look at that.
That's so awesome. Oh my God. It looks really good.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at that. That looks so different. So cool.
I love it. Oh my God.
I love it too.
It looks amazing.
It's so cool. Y'all did a good job.
Even though that I worked on the car and everything like that, like seeing you know, like burn it out and everything and just drive it, it looks amazing. It's so cool. It's like crazy.
Tell you what, I've been working your friends that are all dirty. Got her working. Did you have fun doing it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, I didn't like the little, like, chrome accents in the front, so I think, you know, we had to take those and go get them, like, spray painted, and then we got a new grill. It looks way meaner now. I mean, like, I don't know, it changed, like, the whole view of the car, you know?
Looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks way faster, right?
Right.
We changed out the wheels and the tires. They're 22x8s, 22x9s, you know, 315s on the back instead of, like, you know, the steelies.
What, you know, she had to have, you know.
I feel like that makes the car, you know?
She kind of guilted me into hooking her car in before.
You wanted to do it.
You know, I don't know, it's embarrassing to have your kid ride around on something like, you know, on steelies. Look like a cop.
See what I'm talking about?
We got some caliper covers, and, like, you know, it was really simple. I could do it myself. You know, it was something that was nice to be able to do on my own without any help. You know, so it had like 4 or 5 inches of clearance, you know, like between like the fender and the tires. So like we wanted to get rid of those old springs and put in new lowering springs. They're red too. They look way better. Right. And then that's lowered a bunch. I think it has like 2 inches or like 1.5 inches of clearance now, you know, and I got to learn how to use like the impact and the pro drivers. It was really cool.
Wow, so you really got in there and did hands-on work. That sounds fun. You got in there and took the springs off yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like, what the yeah.
Of course, anybody that you tell that story to, that you came to the shop, you took tools out of the toolbox, you got your hands dirty, you used the tools, I mean, he's going to be impressed. I seen Maddie was impressed right off the bat, so.
And, you know, I picked on Maddie the day that I got the car and everything, and she's seen it from whenever I first got it, and just, you know, her being able to see everything we've done to it, you know, just makes it even cooler.
It does, right?
And to share the experience of it. It's really cool.
I'm proud of you. That makes me proud.
Thank you.
I guess I'm doing something right.
Thank you.
You girls are going to stay out of trouble tonight, right?
Yeah, sir.
Promise?
We will.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
All right. See y'all later.
See y'all.
We finished welding out the roll cage on the 2001 Hummer. Now to get to the customer's other request, the gun mount. Man, this is one of the things that's going to make this cage really unique, is having that swivel gun mount on the top. It's really going to finish it off. It's really going to look mean. Got it feeling good in here, man.
Yeah, it's a bit warm.
You know, we're building the cage for the H1 over there.
Yes.
So I need a base burnout for it. And what I want to do, just leave an inch up here.
1 inch.
Yeah, and I want to bend it up at a 90.
All right. You never know, door panel out, or a fender, or a gun mount. Keeps it interesting. All right, now that I got to cut it out, I'm gonna double check my measurements and get it cleaned up, knock off all the slag, bend it for Bill, and just walk it over there.
Always come through for me, man.
So now I have it all tacked in place. I'll put the gun mount up here on top. Instead of trying to lay all this out, the easiest way to do it was just to lay this up here, get it centered where we want it, and use this as a jig. And now we have all the holes drilled right where they go. We're gonna go back and put these sleeves in the cage. So in doing this, we use the flat part of this plate and the flat part of the DOM. So when I tighten that up, you know it's straight and you know it's solid. All right, now we have the holes drilled out. I'll put the gun mount back up here. Let the bottom hang out a little bit so the nut will tighten up flat. It's not trying to crush the cage. And then that'll make it super strong if it's all welded together and make it really, really strong. We'll weld out the top. Now the cage is solid and the gun mount's finished.
It looks real good, man. I'm really impressed how everything come together. Last thing, just weld everything out. See how she shoots.
If you're ever going to build a monster truck, you got to drive it, because that's the ultimate thrill at the end of the mission, is to get behind the wheel of something you created and take it out there and just thrash on it. So I feel like I've come a long ways from when I first started back in the early 80s. It was sketch some things out on the floor, pretty much just tape measure, plumb bobs, chalk lines on the ground. I took a lot of what I learned back in the early days of doing all this work manually and embraced using computers to design chassis. It's been a game changer for me. I design a chassis from the very first stick of tube, or the very first sketch line on the screen, and when I'm finished, I have a perfect rendering of the finished product. All of those tools that are available to us today, and we can just create a masterpiece out of metal.
The roll cage for the 2001 Hummer is back from powder coat.
And now it's just a process of putting the puzzle together. We're going to put all the top pieces on, put the door caps on. Then it's time for the finale, putting the big cage in here. It's going to change the whole look.
Gracias. I've customized a bunch of Hummers over the years. It's something I really like working on. Just by building a custom roll cage on this one, it's totally changed the whole look. What better place to give it back to the Mod Mafia guys? What's up, fellas?
How you doing, Bill?
Than a shooting range. You guys are the Hummer guys. It's pretty cool to have you bring in a Hummer for us to get down on. It needed to be able to go wherever and keep you guys safe no matter what.
Looks good. Absolutely.
It looks real cool, man. Can we go check it out?
Let's go check it out. All right. Oh, man, look at that. There it is. Man.
Got your little surprise up there.
Yeah, you took those design cues into full effect, but the cage really stands out. Yeah, it looks sick, man.
Man, I've been around a lot of Hummers. I've never seen a cage like that.
Well, that's what you wanted, right?
Exactly.
Something unique, and not only that, looks cool, keep you safe.
Yeah, most importantly.
And that is not going anywhere.
No, I think we can roll that one over, and it's going to be perfectly fine.
It just came in, there was just no safety features whatsoever.
Right.
The first thing we did is made the pans for the back. We decided to clean it up and protect the side also, because it's just started bending pipe. There's a ton of pipe in it. All those little tweaks and bends not only add the strength to add that style too, and it all ties to the frame itself. So if there ever is a rollover, all that inertia is transferred down into the frame. If there ever was an accident, we know these guys are 100% secure.
You got those two bars that go around the center windshield pillar.
Oh yeah, and that's
super
all
helpful.
in one piece.
Man,
that's a lot of work to come up with those bends in the right spot at the right angle, and just to clear everything. Thank God it worked out.
You flexed some talent on that.
We love when guys like you bring us projects like this to let us put our spin on it.
Doing your art.
Yeah, that's it.
I had no idea what Bill was going to put together here, and the design really nailed it.
It's exactly what we wanted, actually exceeded our expectations. We were just blown away with the final product.
Not only, you wanted it safe, you wanted it to look good, you wanted a little special request for the top of it, right?
You see you incorporated that in there really well.
Extracurricular activities.
Absolutely. Military truck, you got to have that military mount. We looked around, found an old military swivel mount for an H1. Whatever you want to put up there is totally interchangeable.
Awesome.
If you guys don't mind, I'd like to have first honors and maybe firing a couple rounds off the top of this.
I'm excited to see it.
Once again, I can't thank my team enough. I love the style of the cage. I mean, it flows, everything looks good, and that little cherry on top was that swivel gun mount. This is exactly what this H1 needed. I scared the pineapple. Mark, Josh, I hope you guys had a lot of fun with this. I know I had a lot of fun today. H1, extensive full roll cage, automatic machine gun. Woo! That's very, very, very exhilarating.
Man, that was awesome!
Dude, that was good stuff, man. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
That was a lot of fun.
Pablo just finished the rendering of the buggy. This is something I'm really getting excited about. I love the proportions. That's a great, great, great start. All the notching and everything goes in this. I'm really interested to see if that really is going to fit the way they say. I mean, the buggy is most definitely a challenge. I've never built anything like this. Never built anything just out of thin air before. And that's just one project. We have the Willys Jeep. It's not just making it wider. It's building the frame, building the suspension, building every single part and piece. An exciting project, but with that exciting project comes a huge workload because there's nowhere in those projects you can take shortcuts. Once these larger projects like this start rolling out the door, 60 to 70 pieces just by eyeball. You got your work cut out ahead of you. Hey, Shorty.
Is this a license plate frame? What do we got going on?
That's why you don't buy cars when you're drinking. Hey, you can fire this thing up yet?
Let's do it. Now, what about my 1,000 horsepower, Bill?
It's a 63 C10.
Hope this thing have more horsepower than that.
Oh, whoa.
You got a leak. Man, it's pouring from there.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
It's pretty cool to look back from where I started to where I am now. Man, it's a total blessing. Years ago, working a little, never thought it would actually turn into a business, much less, a thriving business. Sitting behind the desk, drawing a picture of the car, playing with your colored pencils, that's not building a car. At Extensive, we're a working shop. You bust your ass every day. You create with your hands. I feel my job is I lead by an example. I don't ever ask anybody from the shop to do something that I wouldn't do myself. Today I came out to meet with my friend Stan. How you doing, man? All right.
Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming out.
Stan's the owner of the original Lupe Tortilla, and he's a total car nut. He's got multiple airplane hangars full of cars. Right now he has a car he wants to put the Extensive touch on. This is it, huh?
That's it.
It's a super nice car already. This 1961 is one of my favorite Cadillac designs. Back in the 60s, this was space age. Electric door locks, power windows, power seats, cruise control, AC. This thing was top of the line.
That's it. It's a girl right there. It's a girl for my girl.
Stan wants this to be an anniversary surprise for his wife, Sheila.
She saw this thing at the auction. She lit up like a wine car because I'd had about 4 glasses of wine she was excited, and I bought the car, so it's a wine car.
Sheila's not your typical housewife. She loves cars, and she races them on the weekend, too. Seems like a solid car.
As you get closer, it needs some love. Missing a chrome piece here, missing a bumper. Grill's a little edgy. Couple little things.
A few little issues here and there.
Few little issues. Look really pretty under the hot lights of the auction. Look really pretty with my wife sitting in the car, but when we got it home, we got it in the natural light. Not so pretty. Now look closer, because I want you to know what you're getting into. The dash is all cracked, and this carpet looks like it came out of my dog's doghouse. It's vinyl. Why would anybody put vinyl on a car that's potential to be what this can be, you know?
So you just need a makeover.
It's a total makeover.
You know, those auctions can make any car look good. There's always more than meets the eye.
It's a little bit of a blank canvas for you. I'm not going to tie you down.
All right.
You know, just turn you loose and do your deal. I mean, I've seen what you do and do it. You know?
Oh, man. So, we're definitely going to build you a super nice car and have a...
Don't get me in trouble with her now.
No. We won't do that.
There's no secret that I'm a car nut, but I've never really done one myself. I want this one to stand out.
Take it to the next step.
I want to knock her off her feet.
So I need to get busy.
Yeah, you need to get started.
Classic cars, but he's never had a custom car built. I can't wait to give him a taste of the custom world.
While you driving?
Sure.
Giddy up. Straight back.
Oh, thank you. Anytime a classic like this comes through the door, we're always thinking, what can we do to set this apart from any other build? There's been a ton of custom Cadillacs built, so what can I do to make this one stand out? Come on, Spot. Come on, Spot.
Hey.
Come on, man.
It's never gonna end. What's this?
61. This is for Stan Holt. He's going to give this away to his wife, Sheila, for their anniversary. So we got to take it to the next level.
What's the plan?
Man, the plan is, since this is Stan's first custom, I want to mix it up a little bit with a little old and new, accentuating what makes this a legendary Cadillac while giving it enough custom style for his racer wife. 22-inch billet wheels. And I want to paint it in the reddest red they make, with a handmade red leather interior all the way into the trunk. These V8s are known for reliability, so we'll clean this thing up, get it back up to its former glory.
Question. Does it run?
It does not run right now. The motor transmission is in the car, but as far as like running, driving, no.
With an auction-bought car, you never know how long they've been sitting, much less the last time they ran. Man, I can just look at this, just this quick walk around, and I can tell you, we're missing probably 60 to 70 pieces just by eyeballing.
You got your work cut out ahead of you, buddy.
Good condition chrome for a 50-year-old Caddy can be hard to find. Not to mention, it ain't cheap.
But if y'all don't get it done, his wife's just gonna miss anniversary presents. There's no pressure.
Yeah, no
we
pressure.
will get it done, as long as you get the parts. I'm gonna start by getting my boys Heath and John start tearing this thing down from the inside out.
Hey, remember when all these cars have bench seats, man?
Oh yeah, you always just reach over, grab your girl, slide her in close.
Gotta love them.
Oh,
there she is. These caddies were badass back in the day. They had the long fins and bench seats, chrome for days. Nowadays, cars got clips, man. I'm glad these things got screws. Makes it a whole lot easier to take apart without damaging anything.
Almost. Oh, we about got this one tore apart. Let's get the carpet out of it.
Yes, sir.
Come on. This is a terrible way to go about this. There's one piece.
What the hell is this?
What is that?
Looks like a rat's nest. Like, so besides the wiring being a rat's nest, we have a real rat's nest.
Is the rat still in there?
Nothing I can tell.
This is Texas. We find all kind of critters in the car. Rats, scorpions. One time they even found a rattlesnake.
Man, I hate snakes. Get this sucker tore down.
There it is.
All right.
These caddy dashes are made out of 1 million parts. Not to mention the other 1 million parts underneath that you can't see. That should do it.
Ta-da!
Sweet. That's a good start.
I've been working with John and Heath in interiors for over a decade. They're always thinking of ways to go even bigger.
The plan is bright red on red. Custom kick panels, door panels, dash, and trunk.
Same thing on every car.
Unless it's a truck.
Ooh, touche.
Well, these panels will actually fit inside. This up here is going to be a unique piece that we're going to make out of aluminum. And then we're going to bring that finned aluminum look all the way into the rear quarters. And we make everything from scratch, start over, give us a lot stronger panel. And so now we're going to go ahead and screw this metal piece on so we get a factory fit. Then we're going to go ahead and get John to come over here and start laying the fiberglass on so we can mold this. We're about to take our grinder, trim out and shape the edges. All right, Heath.
Ow.
All right, looks like it's going to fit good. All right, so all of our insert jigs fit. We can pull them out, we can pull the panels out, and we can get ready to start body working everything in. Now we're going to take our body filler, we're going to go around and we're going to mold in all of our trim rings to make sure that everything flows in nice and smooth with the door panel. All right, we've got it all attached now. We're going to take body filler, fill in our edges, make our trim rings, and let her dry.
With classics I like in the trunk.
We have a false floor in here because it allows us to hold everything together without actually screwing into the metal of the vehicle. So next step, what we're going to do is we build this back panel. It's going to come meet the edge of the trunk. When it's all done and wrapped, you're going to see seams line up perfectly through here. We'll mark that latch, and then we'll router out our opening. And then we're going to reinforce with fiberglass and reshape this whole top area to allow us to get more of a softer edge. All right, we're going to go ahead and set it in, make sure it looks like we want. Much better now, the way it rolls around. Perfect.
With this caddy strip down, these guys will hand make almost every piece of the interior. It's heavy labor, but it's always worth it.
What's going on, guys?
Brett, what's up? Because Sheila's a race car driver, I really want this thing to pop. Got it?
I got it.
So I asked my boy Brett at A&A Auto Color to bring in the brightest reds he can find.
All right, I got a few colors for you. It's like a Viper red. It's about as bright as it's going to get. This one, it's got more of a magenta in it, so it's going to look more like a deeper red. And this is just a red. I'll just leave it at that.
Man, this one's way too dark. This one looks dark too compared to that, man. That's it. That's it, man. Redder than red. That's exactly what this car needs.
That's about as bright as it's going to get.
Man, that just screams, you know, I'm a badass race car driver in a custom Cadillac, right?
Yeah.
You should call that one Tim Red.
Look into that.
Why is he even over here? He's colorblind.
I was about to say.
My boy Brett always comes through. I'm going to hand this off to Harold. He can prep and paint. Then we can get to the heavy, heavy lifting, customizing every piece of the air ride. Good. All right, we got the 61 Caddy in the body shop. The guys are about to start stripping it down, totally disassembling the car for the color change, and the next step is a new color. My friend Walter's coming by today. He's a local DJ. You know, he's seen the 63 Chevy truck we call Hard Times at a car show. You know, he loved it. Weren't planning on selling it, but he just made us an offer we couldn't refuse. Now he wants us to make this show truck something he can get in and drive every day. Walter, what's up, man?
What's up, Bill?
Where you been?
What's up, Tim? Give me some of that. Give me some of that white skin, baby. What's up?
You just wake up or what?
Oh, man.
It's like
hard
noon.
for me to get up. Hard for me to get up up. I sleep all day.
You ready to check this thing out, man?
Man, I'm ready to get this puppy going. You know, that's why I'm here today. Check out the truck to see what I need to do to get it on the road. Can't wait to get it out there and let the people see it. Hope this thing have more horsepower than that.
When we built this one for SEMA, it was just meant to be a show truck. We didn't even have time to get the twin turbos running. So now we have a ton of work to do to make it roadworthy. You know, the whole thing needs to be wired up. Even like on the inside, you know, as far as like shifter linkage, kick panels, the carpet's in there, but Walt, I'd like to put some nicer stuff.
Well, I want the good carpets, what I call, I don't know the name of it, I just call them the nappy head carpet. So that's the top of the line. So if you got the nappy head carpet.
The brand name?
No, go know what you're talking about.
We'll get spot on that. And there is no radio in here.
Oh man, gotta have that radio. Tim, I got to have the radio.
You know you gotta have the stereo.
I want something that's like boom, boom, boom.
There you go. We can handle that. You know, Walter's an old friend. I love busting his chops, but we'll take care of him.
All right, well check it out. This thing should make 1,000 horsepower, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, it's 6.2 with twin turbos. We've never had it on a dyno, but we got you, Walter.
Well, check it out. I appreciate you guys, man, and y'all call me when it's ready. If I get you the dyno and it's under 1,000, I'm gonna just have to say, hey, Bill, Tim, y'all told me 1,000, not 999, 1,000 horsepower.
Man, a couple years ago when this truck first hit SEMA, man, it was just a huge hit for us. There was a crowd around it the whole weekend. It made people just take notice that, you know, the guys from Texas are doing it. And, you know, this truck's always going to be a show truck. But driving it on the street, that just shows everybody that you can have both. You go get groceries in this thing, turn around and go to the car, hopefully hanging out the window is so big. I want to turn this 63 Chevy C10 show truck into a show and go truck with a few new touches. Interior, stereo, because it's Houston, a new AC. And after sitting for a while, biggest job of all, getting the twin turbos running. I can't wait to get this thing going. Let him enjoy it. You know, it's kind of sad to see it go. I mean, every one of these projects, you know, you put your heart and soul into, but you know, it's time to move on to the next one. Man, you can fire this thing up yet?
I'm about to.
Because it was a rush for SEMA, it never got to the point of running. Justin and Matt are engine experts. They originally installed the turbo system on this truck, and they can't wait to hear it run.
I get sparked.
We've been so slammed at the shop, we hadn't had a chance to get this thing started. One of the worst things you can do is just let a high-performance motor sit. Parts can seize up, fuel lines can gum up, get no power. The jet pulsing. Cool, man. Come holler at me when you're ready.
Yes, sir.
I'll be here when you start it.
All right, hold what you got, Matt. We're about to start cycling the fuel system. We're going to start looking for leaks. Everything looks good back here, Matt.
So there's no leaks then, huh?
Not yet.
Huh.
Whoa. You got a leak. Cycle it again, Matt. Man, it's pouring from there. I think we got more coming out than we do have going in.
Turn it off.
Right here around these injectors.
Yeah, let's break it down then.
Let's do it.
Anytime you start an engine for the first time, there's always a ton of stuff pops up. All that stuff is popping up when we're trying to get these twin turbos fired up on the 63 Chevy.
So if you look right here inside the fuel rail, you can see where it rubbed off the anodized coating. What was happening is if you shove it back in there, it was cocked to the side, making that metal rub on that inner fit and wasn't allowing our O-ring to seal off properly. Fuel rail, we're going to go ahead and have to replace the whole rail.
Oh, these ones are O-ring fit.
With this engine sitting so long, we're going to go ahead and just replace both sides. been 2 years now I've been ready to hear this thing. A little nervous. Yeah. Let's see if that did it.
I'm gonna go ahead and crank it over without ignition.
Do it one more time. Hold that.
What's going on?
I don't know. I seen the valve cover moving. Maybe we should pull them off and take a look. This valve cover shouldn't be moving at all. It looks like we got popcorn popping inside of this thing.
Oh yeah, I can see it. See that metal shavings on the rocker right here where it's been hitting the valve cover on the two outer ones.
Right here where they were hitting, a lot of times you'll get little metal shavings like this one here that just popped off. On these motors, they run real tight bearing clearances, and that right there will cost you a motor. So that's a good catch before we fire this thing up. Seems like it's always a hit or miss on these aftermarket covers.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's hit on this one. We'll grab another set.
With the old damaged valve covers replaced with the new ones, we're ready to get feeling lucky this time.
Do it.
Come on, man.
Hell yeah.
That engine sounds so bad. Walter is going to go crazy. 1,000 horsepower? Man, we got this.
Got it.
2 years.
Cool, man. Let's just get this thing buttoned up. Just everything roadworthy.
Right ass. Ready? Go for it.
All right. Now that it's back from paint, of course, I want to lower this 61 Caddy to the floor. But first, Jamie and Elu got to get this old suspension out of the way. So come on, let's get this thing tore up. Get the springs out, shocks, factory suspension, cut everything out. Get it bottomed out so we can take a couple of measurements and everything. We'll go from there.
Okay, all right, I got it.
Cool. Let's do it.
All right, man.
These old caddies set on coils, which was top of the line in the 60s. But we'll tear it all out and replace it with top of the line custom air ride. So basically, it'll be suspended on airbags. It's a more modern look and a way smoother ride.
Okay, so basically we're gonna get rid of these older links and put our 2-link.
Got it, Jaime?
Yeah, buddy.
Aside from the airbags, we fabricate the entire suspension from scratch.
Bolt that up on the back here. I'm gonna start putting this one together.
We tuck these airbags up where the old springs are mounted.
Alright.
Let's see if it fits now.
We're gonna find out in a minute. What I'm doing now is screwing it up to see if this dry shaft fits. Turn this one.
Yeah, we're bottomed out right here.
Alright. Give that light right there for it.
And you're gonna have to notch that part out. Whenever you add new parts to a frame, it rarely fits perfectly until we make it fit. Issues are always a problem when you're installing air suspension. So it looks like right here we're gonna have to cut this cross member out a little bit and go back in and re-brace it up.
Let's get it all bottomed out again.
There?
Almost.
I'm on it. Check that out.
Woo!
You know, call out the mariachi band?
Hell yeah.
You can't leave a hole in the frame. So we're fabricating a brace and welding it to make it strong as ever. And then we'll install the airbags.
Cadillac trim is hard to find. You can find some online. There's not
touching it, seeing it, and looking at it in person. When I thought about 61 Cadillac trim, first thought, Shorty's. Shorty. So Shorty's got a little bit of a reputation in Houston.
What's up, Swap?
I did that to you.
Scared the out of me.
Brother, how you doing?
I'm good. How's it going?
He's known by everybody in the lowrider scene. Everybody goes to Shorty.
What do you need?
Man, here's the deal. We tore down a 61 Cadillac convertible, took all the trim off, none of it's good. I mean, everything shiny ain't shiny. Man, if you got anything...
We might have something stashed around here somewhere.
Show me what you got. I love places like Shorty's. It's like a treasure hunt. Man, dude, I need this for my living room.
This probably used to belong to Elvis Presley. $1,500, man, it's yours.
Man, 1,500? I was thinking more like 150. Shorty's got a well-earned rep as a tough negotiator.
Here, don't drop it.
Heavy. Man, that one looks good. What all we got? Let's check it out. Can I open it up?
Yes, sir.
That's a nice piece.
This is all original.
All original, re-chrome plated, repolished.
1961 Cadillac chrome trim pieces. Chrome in general. Any of the shiny? All right, so let's work on a number. I'll take all this stuff as long as the price is right.
Well, you at least $6,500 for this, man.
Golly. Man, there's just no way we could pay that much.
Give me a number.
Man, $3,000.
Oh, man, can't do $3,000.
It's got to be bottom dollar for me to go back to Bill with this. Let's say $5,000 and throw in the hood.
No, 55, man. 55 is the least.
Shorty's definitely beat me up on the price. Sure enough, got it down a little bit, but he stood his ground. He knows what the parts are worth, and they are worth that much. All right, I'll take it.
All right.
Thank you, Shorty.
Load this stuff up.
Let's do it. We got everything we need, and not only was it chrome and ready, it was new old stock that had been re-chromed to show chrome. Can't get any better than that. Bill gonna be happy when I show back up with this stuff.
Sounds like you gonna get a steak dinner tonight.
Man. Man, you never know, huh?
Justin and Matt got those twin turbos up and running on the 63 C10. And man, I can't wait to get this thing tested out. But before we do that, Heath and John panels.
Hey, Heath, come here for a second. What you got, brother? Man, trying to get these press grills done. They got the press tied up over there right now. I don't want to wait around for an hour and a half. Got any suggestions? Man, I got a special tool just for that, brother.
What you got?
It's called a 300-pound Heath press. The 300-pound Heath press is a very, very delicate machine. If you don't know how to use it, you can hurt yourself. Let me show you how we do this here. Take this sucker right here. Make sure you're lined up. Apply even pressure. And then you gotta kind of... Oh, you do the Heath shuffle. Yeah. Make sure your sides are flat all the way around. We got it. And now, see, we got a nice press grill. We're gonna patent that. Yeah. Well, the Heath Press 300 worked out great. These kick panels have turned out kick-ass. A little bit of elbow grease and a little bit of thought process, it goes a long way and gives you a good finished product.
I promised Walter 1,000 horsepower with this custom engine, so I asked him to meet me at the shop. We're gonna drive down together and test this thing out on the...
What's up? Is ready? Bill called me over at Extensive today, and what I find, my truck was done.
Man, I don't know if you're ready for this, man.
I'm ready for it, man. I've been waiting for this truck for a long time, so I'm ready.
Man, so many hours went into building this truck. It is really great to see it roadworthy. Man, check it out. We put all the new windows in, track, everything, got all that buttoned up. You don't even need it.
Okay.
You know, when it goes up and down fine, but still leave them up because you got all new
got an AC, you know, keep it from sweating. AC, you know I'll be needing that because a brother like to sweat a lot, baby, like heat sweat.
And check out the inside.
Damn. Oh, got a push button.
It's an old looking stereo, but it's all Bluetooth, so you just play everything off your phone. Check
Oh
this
man,
out.
I gotta check out the sound. I gotta check out the sound. Bill told me this truck was gonna boom, boom, boom. It made me wanna dance, baby. I was just going back and This is sick, man. This is sick, man. I love this, man. I love this, man. This is nice, man.
Told you we got you.
Now, what about my 1,000 horsepower, baby?
See,
okay.
I got the dyno all set up.
Can we check it out
See
now?
what's up. That's where we going.
Okay, let's go.
You
to the dyno.
drive.
Oh, I get to drive?
Yeah.
Oh, man, this is going to be... All right, I'm the dyno.
You know, Walter's been on my ass to make sure this thing makes 1,000 horsepower.
Now, you still got to show me how this thing works now.
Man, hit the key right here.
Okay.
You know, this is about to be the test. You know, the dyno is going to prove one way or another if we did our job or not.
In the shop?
Yeah, just back right in. The dyno's right there. Okay. We're at the dyno shop with the 63 C10. A dyno is basically a treadmill for vehicles. You know, this LS twin turbo, hand built the way it is. If this thing doesn't make 1,000 horsepower, nothing will. We'll strap the truck in, make a run, we'll see how much horsepower it has.
Oh, I hear something coming on.
Here it comes.
Christina is coming alive. Matt, come on, let's get it, baby.
Oh, we good in there. We good in there. Doing a little adjustment myself right now.
Okay.
Every time, you know, more fuel, more air, more spark. He is fine-tuning this just to get the most amount of power we can out of it. All right, man, here we go. Here's the test. Did we do our job? Didn't we? We're about to find out.
Let's go, baby! 1,000!
Hell yeah. That's the sound right there. Dude, that had to be close. If that ain't it had to be close, Walt.
That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it.
What number you asked for, guys?
What we got?
1,080 to the tire.
Woo! Bill, you knocked it out of the park, baby. 1,080. Thank you. The whole crew love y'all. I told you. I told ya. I knew you could do it. You know, I always had confidence in you, man. I knew you could do it. 1,080. Beat it. There it is, baby, right there. I'm the paper. Certified.
Man, that thing looks good. We finished the install of the air suspension on the 61 Cadillac. Now I'll take a sneak peek on the wheels and tires because I can't wait to see them. Man, it clears good.
Perfect.
I love the big wheel. I love the nice thin spokes.
It
Man,
does
it
look
looks,
killer.
it complements this car perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really going to be impressive. The only thing that isn't impressive right now is drums.
You're right. Thank God.
We don't have time to make anything, so please do your research. Let's get something coming in.
Big brakes.
Bigger the better.
What color calipers?
Make them calipers match your hat. As a custom builder, I'm not sure I'm ever satisfied. Right up until the last minute, I'm always looking to up our game. Even in places you never look, like the trunk.
I remember at one point of this process, we thought this was a good idea.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Heath and John, hand making this custom trim is a lot of work. But in the end, it's all worth it.
Here, make a decorative trim piece to get a cool, modern and kind of classic look. This is just basically a two-part epoxy, and we add a black pigment to it. What it does is it's going to give us our nice, shiny surface and also hold all of our aluminum strips in place. All right, that's it.
Almost looks like we know what we're doing.
I'm laying out the V on this custom caddy trunk. So when you open up that trunk, you're gonna see that cool ass V running right across the back. It's gonna look awesome. And this is a freehand cut. Voila. We got our V right here. We chose to go with this design because it is a Cadillac staple, basically an old hot rod staple too. And it's just a V that represents V8 in most of these Cadillac vehicles. Barely made that corner. Now we'll set it in here, see how she looks. Oh yeah, look at that. See how the 3D just really makes this thing work.
Tim, we got a problem.
Half that rag joint's missing off the steering.
Rag joints were used back in the day to connect the steering shaft to the gearbox. If this thing goes out and breaks while you're driving, you just lose all your steering.
This should be a whole piece that goes all around, looks like a donut, and make one joint. But right now, had been making noise if they would have ever driven it. And once you keep turning, eventually it's just going to wear this out to where it's just going to not safe.
Got the new NOS rag joint.
This is what it looks like when it's good. This is what came out of the car. This would have went out when they were driving. It would have been big problems on the road. We need to get it fixed. It's like anything else. You wouldn't want your family in it, and I wouldn't want mine. So let's make it right.
All right. Ready? Hell yeah.
She's running, but she does not sound good at all. A little bit more tuning, and we'll have her purring like a kitten. Is this a license plate frame? What do we got going on here?
Yeah, that's a license plate frame. I think we need to take that out of there.
That's why you don't buy cars when you're drinking.
One of the things we're known for here at Extensive is fixing other people's shoddy work.
To the tree of shame.
That was cut for a purpose.
Terrible purpose.
With all those crappy pieces, we decided to start building the Tree of Shame. That started about 15 years ago, and at this point, it's actually casting a lot of shade.
Where we gonna put it at?
I'm not sure. If somebody would have just done their job right the first time, we wouldn't be standing here right now having this discussion, trying to make a decision, but...
Tree of Shame.
Ready?
It's in its forever home now.
Let's go get some tacos, man.
I like tacos.
The 61 Caddy is almost ready for show. Heath and John have really outdone themselves on this red-on-red interior. That thing's looking good, man. Looking real good.
I like it. There's a lot of leather, a lot of pain in the ass, but it came out sweet. I got something serious I want to talk to you about, though. You know how this thing is bright red? You know, it's a Cadillac. The gentleman who owns it has Tex-Mex restaurants.
Heath, come on, man. I got stuff to do. What?
Think about calling it Caliente.
Caliente?
Right up top, right here. Do like some embossing and some
I was just
leather.
about to tell you, we need a little filler here.
Yes, sir.
Caliente.
Caliente.
This Caddy was missing a little something, and the Caliente really ties this build together. Once again, Heath comes through.
First, we cut out the original Cadillac font with the plasma. And now, I'll emboss it onto the leather. So you can kind of center it up. Line that up on there. Put it down in the vise. We just crank the hell out of it. Let's see if I didn't mess it up too bad. There it is.
All that's left are these final pieces of chrome. I can't wait to give this to Stan's wife, Sheila, away. Stan and I worked out the perfect surprise. He invited all their friends to his hangar, packed with his really rare, impressive collection of classic cars.
Cheers!
Many more years.
Well, I got a little something up my sleeve. A little anniversary surprise.
Really?
Yeah, you're used to that, right?
What is it?
You don't need to know. We'll let you know later.
What did you do?
Can't tell you.
Little thinker.
Sheila, in the past 3 months, we've been building you this 61 Cadillac.
I thought my car was here. You have my car?
We've had it for 3 months, and we've been busting our butt.
Lost in the crowd.
Well, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You ready to check it out?
I am.
Let's check it out.
Car that we got at the auction. It was silver and now it's red and huge wheels. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Hey, these are the interior guys. This is John.
Oh my God. Thank you.
The interior is just totally one-off custom interior, from the door panels to the seats, the dash.
Beautiful.
Couldn't have done it without these guys and everybody at the shop. Hey, no matter what they look like, they get the job done.
We do all right.
I know when we got it, we just had parts in the trunk, parts here and there, didn't run. We got the thing running, sprayed it Viper red. Every piece of the chrome has been polished, redone. Look at the custom billet, 22-inch wheels.
I love those wheels. Oh my gosh, 22s. I love 22s.
Every bit of the suspension, there's nothing 61 in there anymore. It's all handmade, air suspension, drops completely low on the ground.
That's amazing. Was that your idea?
No, it was Bill's idea. That's what he does.
Hey, John, show her what you have for her. Check it out.
There's more? Wow. That is beautiful. Look. Beautiful.
These guys totally handmade every part and piece of this. Check out what they came up with for the...
Gave it a name for you.
Caliente.
Caliente. Arriba, arriba. Awesome.
When she opened up the trunk, I couldn't believe the look on her face. She was as surprised as crazy.
Had no idea.
It was nuts, man. It was awesome.
When you see somebody that really respects what you do, they see what you created with your own hands, that makes it all worth it. This is especially made for you.
These guys are amazing. I just turned them loose. Amazing what they did.
Ready to go for a ride?
That's awesome.
Let's go for a ride.
There you go, guys.
Keep talking, too.
You know, this is a great gift. That's their first taste of custom, but hopefully not the last.
What size motor this thing got in it?
Next girl's got her shoes off already. That thing around to the corner. Everything that I wanted it to be, it was.
It really was. It was amazing.
Seeing her excited, I just get all... My girl, I'm so excited.
We're going to make it 22 inches, the bag's completely full. We get a ton of pipe, start rolling, and chop it up. The tube work is going to be right at eye level. You know, it looks like a sculpture after it's done.
Oh, that was 28.
Yeah. This 2016 Escalade is super luxurious, and we're going to add tons more power to this.
You're just going to leave every other Escalade in the dust.
Oh, my God. I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal. This shop is built on the diversity of the custom cars we work on. That's what keeps us on our toes. That's what keeps. What are you doing, man?
I was fogging for mosquitoes.
I've known Tom a long time. He owns a construction company and says driving around in a big old custom truck is great advertisement for his business.
How you doing, Tom? How you doing, man? Good to see you. A long time. It's been a minute. It has.
Love your entrance, man.
Bill's a really good friend of mine. We grew up together on the north side of Houston. He's the guy to go to if you want something done custom.
Well, what are we doing?
Trying to get this thing lifted up. It's got to be real high, though. I need to be in the clouds.
This is a stock Ford F-250 straight off the showroom floor. This one has a 6.7-liter turbo diesel with 925 foot-pounds of torque.
When people first see this truck, I want them to be completely blown away at how do we do that.
So huge wheels, huge lift, 4-link with the big bags.
Definitely.
Color match the suspension.
Yeah, man.
There are a lot of aftermarket lift kits available for the F-Series truck. Man, we're going to make this one different. I mean, we're going to make it adjustable, classy. This is going to be the coolest truck around.
I need it to be down when I'm in town and up when I'm off-road.
So just go all out on it.
Go all out.
Like custom bumpers.
Custom bumpers. Got to be color matched. Easy with it because it's easy to go crazy with them. It's got to be something that you've never done before. It's got to be something that nobody's ever seen.
Nice. So the inside, I know you want the crazy stereo. Subs under the seat.
The sound has got to be loud.
It's awful dark in here, so we need to brighten it up.
Interior is so important. That's where I spend all of my time. I need this build to be something special, not only in the city and on the streets, but more importantly in the mud park.
Tom, you know we're going to take care of you on this.
I know you are.
Well, let's go do some paperwork. Man, I love the challenge of making a custom lift. The key for me is building it high enough so people will take notice. When people are looking eye level at this lift, it'd be like looking at a sculpture. While keeping the off-road performance, that way you can go out and still get a little crazy.
So what's this?
We got the new 17, 250, four-wheel drive.
And platinum.
So we want to take it a few steps up. Outside the airbags and shocks, we're going to hand make everything else. We're going to start with a frame down air suspension. 22 inches with the bags completely full. Air suspension. We're talking fender well up here.
I can walk under it?
Tim can walk under it.
So 6-inch lift.
Tim can walk under it?
We'll color match some parts with a pearl white. We'll chrome the rest of the parts for a high contrast shine. We're having 28-inch billet wheels with a 42-inch tire so it can ride even higher.
28 by 42?
It's a custom one-off wheel created just for this truck.
So what about the inside?
We'll just cut the bottom half of the door panels off. We'll put speakers in the door panels and build a see-through console, which extends all the way to the back seat, with 3 big woofers that are lit with LED lights.
What about back here? Anything in the bed?
Tom wants his truck lifted and loud, so we'll put 4 8-inch full-range marine-grade speakers in the bed. Just something that looks super classy, but just is super loud.
Gotcha. Bumpers?
We're also modifying the exterior of this truck with a custom set of bumpers for the front and the rear.
Just big on this.
Exactly. And the sooner we get it done, the sooner we can take it to the off-road part and go check it out.
Let's get it done immediately.
Today.
Tear all the interior out of this.
Awesome. While the F-250 is still on the ground, now's a good time for Heath and Tim to tear out the interior. These things are tight. On the old classic cars, everything's metal, bunch of Phillips screws. New cars, I prefer to use just a regular hand ratchet. It takes a little longer, but I don't break nothing.
There she goes.
Now we got her off.
You're trying to get the console out right now?
Gone!
I'm just glad we're doing all this before it's 4 feet up in the air and my big ass can't get in here no more.
We're gonna build a whole new air suspension for this truck. We have to get rid of everything stock, from the wheels, the springs, the shocks, the mounts, anything to do with stock. We're gonna make a clean slate on this frame so we can start from scratch.
Jamie's a real wild man. He just comes together, gets it done, gets ready to go on the next one.
There's so much stuff in the way. Gotta be really behind that proportion valve. And I'm gonna score it right here and break the weld.
Was it hood time?
It's hood time.
We're gonna need to clean the frame rails to weld our suspension to. So John is burning off all the stock suspension brackets. Once John's done, I'll follow him with a grinder. I'll grind all this down smooth so we're ready for the new brackets.
Now that we tore out all the stock spring suspension, we're going to measure for all the parts we need for the lifted air suspension. This truck is basically riding on air, which is a way smoother ride than springs. It's a super technical build, and we got to be right on the money. That's 21 inches between the center of the axle to the ground. So we had it right on the money. Tall
Things
tires.
look crazy with the 42s, the 28s.
Going to have the first set in the world.
I'm excited about this.
47. You got 47.
All right, I got y'all's pieces.
Rudy's fabricated the axle mounts for the 4-link. That gives us a solid place to mount the suspension to the axle. Perfect, man.
That'll work?
Yeah, 5/8.
Yeah.
Now we're going to install it. Super critical to get all this right so the drive line stays right. You don't have any vibration going down the road, so it's key to get this on the money. A little bit more back. That'll work. Right now I'm designing the drop-down bracket on this truck. That allows the pivot points to drop down to keep the 4-link more in line. And man, you're gonna need a ladder to get in this truck. We'll tape our poster board to the frame and kind of figure out where the pivot point's gonna be. It's too bad we don't have some laser scanner. I don't use AutoCAD, I just use pen and paper. We just do it the old-fashioned way. The advantage of that is I see the end result in real time. We're trying to figure our pivot points out on the frame itself, so everything's going to articulate on the rear end and the frame. I think we're good with the pivot point here, so we're pretty much set up. We can give this to Rudy, start burning some plate, start building this thing. Check it out, Rudy.
That's what you got.
Now it's up to you to make me one whole plate here that bolts onto the whole side of the truck. I want it to hold the back part of the 4-link, the front part of the 4-link, and just some nice style to it here.
You want these holes punched out?
3/4.
Got some big old Heims going on there?
That's right.
So I got my template that Bill gave me. We're gonna go draw it up on the computer. So this is pretty much the backbone of the truck. This is what's gonna hold the whole truck up together when it's whipping around in mud, jumping, or whatever he wants to do with it. This will hold the whole truck intact. So we gotta make sure it's nice and perfect, and nice and strong too.
Burning out the drop-down brackets on Tom's F250 right now. Man, this thing allows us to get higher. It adds a ton of strength and rigidity.
All right, so we got our piece for the F250 cut out. All we gotta do now is just punch our holes for the 4-links. You need to punch them and not cut them out because we want some real clean holes.
Hell yeah. Now we're gonna test fit the bracket. This bracket will basically drop down the frame rail
That way we can extend the lift even higher.
Is it tightening that gap up, Lulu?
It's going.
You know, I love being out in the shop. I love getting dirty, welding, grinding. I can't stand being in the office, answering the phones, doing paperwork. I hate it. I love being out with the guys. That's my passion. That's what I'm going to do till I die.
Man, everything's proportioned perfect, man. I love it. And this to be powder coated, really going to bring some color down in the frame. It's just really, really going to look good. And it's strong.
Lindsay is an old friend. We've customized a few trucks for him in the past, and let's just say he's enthusiastic.
What up, dog?
What's happening, man?
Hell yeah. Good seeing you, man. Yeah. Looking all slim and trim. When I first met Bill, he had an S10 pickup, and he had welded like this triangle thing on the door with a tire so he could turn sharp and drive through the neighborhood sideways. That's when I first met Bill. What you got?
This 2016 Escalade is a 6.2-liter V8 and 420 horsepower. It's large and luxurious, but at this point, it's just equipped for getting the kids to soccer.
I got the bells, the whistles, the distles, the tristles. I got it all. I mean, it has anything and everything an ordinary person want. But if you have Bill in your life, you're not ordinary. You know, I can't look like every other soccer mom. You know what I mean? I gotta make it look just nasty.
First thing we gotta do is put a supercharger on it. Give him about 100 or so extra horsepower to the rear wheels. I know you want that.
Because it already has a lot of power, but like, it's gonna be over the top power. Redonkulous power. I'm pumped.
We gotta lower this thing.
Ooh, okay. So when we lower it to the ground, it's easy for me to step and slide and ease right out that joint.
Man, new wheels, new tires. We gotta put the Billet 26s on it.
What else? What else?
Come on, a little contrast on the trim.
Okay.
You know, something that totally sets you apart.
See, that's what's wrong. That's why I'm addicted to the extensive. I gotta have me some Bill love.
Man, the grill, we gotta have you a custom grill in it. That's the first thing you see when it's coming at you.
Once Bill puts his hands on it, it's gonna be fly. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna ride, and everybody can see me extensified. Yeah, let's do it, dog. Come on.
Man. You need to drive the van?
Yeah, I'll drive the van. Temporary.
You know, these trucks are already over the top. They're super luxurious. The 6.2 in this is plenty of horsepower. But man, we're gonna set this apart, bring it to the next level, and add tons more power to this. When you see Lindsay coming down the road in this is just going to be over the top, just like Lindsay.
Well. Is this who I think it is?
Oh, Lindsay. He wants us to hook him up. My plan is to add to the Cadillac's luxury with a little more presence and muscle. We'll start by adding a supercharger to the engine, and that should add around 100 horsepower.
Is he wanting like diamond encrusted bezels for the headlights and around the grill?
Man, he probably like that, but we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
To make this truck one of one, we're gonna take all the chrome off and spray every bit of it so it looks like an anodized black. And we'll add a new grill and paint that too.
Anodized black wheels?
Everything. You gotta really have a nice contrast, you know, no crazy red or blue or something like that on it.
Keep it classy.
Just classy and still stand out. You know, he wants to be able to drop his kids off and still take this out to the club. We'll fill the fender wells with custom 26-inch billet wheels. And it'd be like no other Escalade around. Let's just say Lindsay is really passionate about...
Excited when he just walks in the office. Good luck, buddy. I'm on it.
We've never installed a supercharger on this model Escalade before, so I asked Justin to take the lead on this one.
So what's the game plan for this one?
Man, this dude's over the top. He wants something he can get in and just smoke the tires off this thing. So,
supercharger?
Yeah, but he's got to have something next level. I know how you get down with that tube work. Okay. So I want you to build him a custom air intake, man. So when he pops the hood, he can see that we handmade him something just for him.
You got it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So let's knock it out.
We're going to start removing some of the factory components out of the way. The type of supercharger it is, it's a centrifugal is what they call it. It increases the output speed of this impeller somewhere in the 60 to 70,000 RPM range. And in doing so, it creates boost. So when I'm done putting this thing on here, it's going to leave every other Escalade in the dust. Right now, we gotta remove this bracket right here that holds the computer. This is pretty much the brain of the vehicle, so we need to be super careful with it when we move this thing around and get it in its new location. All right, should slide right out now. Shouldn't have said fight me there, probably would have came right out. Let me see what else I need to move out the way to get this thing. This thing up and get that cover off so that we can get to that one last bolt.
Fitting an aftermarket supercharger in a stock truck like Lindsay's 2016 Escalade is always tricky, especially in such tight quarters. So it's not surprising Justin's having trouble moving the computer to make room for that supercharger.
This little panel right here serves no other purpose other than keeping rocks and stuff from hitting the computer. Right, now that we got this last bolt out the way, you can see that our computer will be ready for our new bracket to relocate it. And there we go. The purpose behind a supercharger is to increase the airflow going to your engine. Your engine is basically an air pump, so the more air you can get in, the more air you can get out, the more horsepower you can make. So we're gonna go ahead and put our belt on for our new blower setup. So what this is doing is putting more tension on this belt. It keeps it from slipping on the supercharger at high RPMs. So if you went to a smaller pulley, you really crank out some horsepower on this thing. So right now we're about to install our intercooler. It takes the hot air from the supercharger and cools it down before it goes in the engine. We can connect the two with our rubber couplers and hard piping. All we gotta do is snake it through and make our connection. So this 4-inch pipe will support a lot of airflow, which in return means it'll support a lot of horsepower. All installed just like that.
We're making a huge custom lift for Tom's F-250, including this drop-down bracket we're installing right now. Well, let's get the holes in this thing. We'll put 5 holes down the side, and then we can through bolt them. Cut another piece for the back part of it to box it in. We can weld this right inside the frame. This thing, it's never gonna come off. It's one of the strongest parts of the whole truck. We're now mocking up the 4-link bars. There are 2 bars on each side, the pushing on one side and a heim on the other for adjustment. This connects the rear end to the frame.
So I'm about to lay out a jig so I can make the pins, and I'm gonna take it to this straight piece of C-channel, make it all squared. So when I put the other end and I weld the bar in between, the bushing ends are actually squared off with the 4-link bar. Now I got the jig all made, I go cut some DOM tubing to weld between the bushing and the heim joint. I got the piece of DOM in, fit nice and snug and straight. I can tack it. Then I'll remove it, put another one in, and just keep repeating the process. Once they're all done, tacked up, then I'll weld them all out all together in one shot.
The drop down is looking good. Next step, just putting the 4-link on.
4-link connects the rear axle to the frame and keeps it centered with your wheel well as it lifts up and down. We don't want this truck driving down the road sideways, so we're gonna make these 4-links equal length.
Cool. Get that 4-link done. John, that looks good.
Hell yeah. We get started with the front 4-link bars now, huh?
Yeah, man, let's knock them out. Get them put on. We'll start building them bag mounts.
Hell yeah.
Take a lot of compressed air to lift this 3-ton truck up to 22 inches. So John and Tim are mocking up the air compression system.
John's designed a pretty cool air setup here where the tanks are going to mount, and then the bars are going to hold the compressors. So we have 2 5-gallon tanks, and we're going to put 4 compressors across it to fill the tanks. Then we'll run lines to the valves to the airbags. We're going to cut some flat bar to bolt the 2 air tanks together to keep the system compact. So we made these pieces of flat bar to keep everything symmetrical, to keep everything even. It's also going to work as mounts for the valves. With the tanks mocked up, we're going to tack the DOM tubing on the sides to keep it symmetrical. Good. This will give us a layout for the 4 new air compressors. That looks good. Now that the DOM is symmetrical, we'll evenly space out the compressors. Pretty good, huh? Pretty good job. The bars, the way they are, it all fans out, it's all symmetrical. Now what we can do is finish everything out here, and after this is powder coated, we can take this, flip it over, put these 4 bolts into it, and everything's a done unit.
Up on the air suspension on this truck, Heath has his hands full making the center console on this F-250.
This is our shape of our console. This is going to go up into the dash right here, have a subwoofer here, 2 more subwoofers going back down in that direction, and then we have plexiglass sides, lit all up, all white. It's going to be really cool. We'll get this nailed down, and then we'll router it out, and then we're going to make our other pieces that go on the inside. We're actually doing a process, it's called stacking, and what it is we're going to stack a bunch of these to get this shape. Made all my stack pieces, see, all the way up just to get this shape all the way around. So it gives a cool little design. Whenever you do this stack method, you waste a lot of material. We've got a bunch down there that's just scrapped out, but should be real strong. This box is definitely a one-off. There'll be some people who try to probably replicate it, but they're not going to be able to do the exact same thing we did here. That's as far as I can get on this console until Gerardo gets it all primed and painted out.
I have a plexiglass side, so that's going to be see-through. We're going to paint the inside of it pearl white to color match to the F-250. So we're going to go ahead and throw down the base, which is like an off-white. And then we're going to throw the pearl. And after that, we throw in the clear coat.
Most of the way through the air suspension on Tom's lifted F-250. Because the truck is so high, the tube work that is normally hidden under the truck is going to be right at eye level. What I want to do with this is just have arching tube work all throughout, man.
Hell yeah.
Even the bag mounts have, rolled tubing, just looks like it's reaching up and grabbing that thing and just coming down and holding it to the rear end.
I got 2 hands holding that bag.
Hell yeah. We'll get a ton of pipe, start rolling and chopping it up.
We're going to bend, cut, and shape the tubing for the bottom support for the airbags. By the time we're done, we're probably going to use over 100 feet of tubing.
Such an angel, I need a big halo.
Everybody know you got the devil in you.
Hey. We have a good idea for the design that's drilled and capped. We're going to weld the back piece to the frame. We're going to bend some more DOM to come down as a bag mounts. What that's going to do is make it structurally strong and just give it a cool look that everything's rolled and flows together. Beautiful. John, you a bad mofo.
I know.
Once John welds all this DOM piping in place, we're going to check these floor links with the bag mounts. All right, we got our spacer out of the way. Let it down a little bit, John. This will articulate how the floor link's going to keep it all squared. As the bag raises, the rear end will go down like this. And then when you let the pressure out of the bag, this will show the rear end in full motion, articulating all the way through. And that's how this finished air suspension system is going to raise this truck up about 10 inches. Another thing to this build, we went really aggressive with the bars, the way everything's bent, so we couldn't do no standard shock. We got the 4.0 shocks, the piggyback tubes, everything's all in one unit. These shocks are made to go through the desert, through the Bajas, through the jumping. Any way he wants to drive, the suspension, the shocks, the bags, 100% he will have no problems. We're gonna tear it apart and get it color matched. We'll break it all down, send it out to powder coat, then we'll reassemble it later.
supercharger installed on Lindsay's 2016 Escalade, I'm gonna have Charlie start working on the trim. And I wanna pull off all the chrome, I wanna paint it like an anodized look.
So we're doing all the trim black anodized?
Yeah, the factory trim with the wheels, the grill, every piece of the chrome.
All right, cool, I got you. Let's get to it.
Charlie's gonna start out by spraying these parts black, then he's gonna spray a chrome, then the last coat is gonna be a transparent black right over the top, gives it a transparent anodized look.
This is the black base for the mirror chrome. Get us some good coats on there before we start spraying the chrome on there. And then from there, then you do your candy concentrate in your clear, and then you just clear it until you get the desired color you're looking for.
I got everybody available working on this Escalade. We're trying to get the trim, the wheels, and that it's ready. Lindsay's definitely not the type of guy that waits for delivery, so I told him to come on, swing by the shop. And I can't wait to see this reaction. Whatever it might be, I can't wait to see it.
Man, my man Bill. Ooh, Bill. Now you only get one here. My dude. Woo.
Drop it. I guess you like it.
That's Mac Daddy nasty.
First things first, you see you coming down the road, you see the grill. We couldn't have you riding around with that stock grill in there. Everybody's got that, man. Little matte black mesh, man, with the little anodized insert. Man, it just really sets the whole tone of the whole thing.
It's like a whole different truck, man.
Man, it is. Just like the grill, we took off all the chrome to give it that anodized black look, man.
That changed the whole look.
It does. 26-inch billet wheels. Yeah. These are one-off wheels cut especially for you. There's nobody else that has these. No one.
Bill put the lens cut on it. And he anodized them to match the anodize.
Got a 4-inch drop on it, man.
Make it easy for me to get in. I appreciate that, dog. That's good looking out. Rain and love, baby.
You gotta check it out under the hood here.
I'm done with you, man. I'm done with you, Bill. Oh, man.
This thing hauls. Supercharger under the hood. It'll leave 2 black marks down the street. It's all intercooled, so it just sucks the cold air in.
Yeah.
Forces it right in the motor.
Extensive. They put their stamp on it, man. He really did an outstanding, spectacular job, man. I'm excited. We need to take it out. Well, let's do it.
Let's go.
Man, are you kidding me? What I'm talking about?
Told you the thing.
Are you kidding me right now? It didn't stop. Still rides really good. Like right now, I mean, from the grill to the wheels, and then top it off with big power under the hood. I might just drive it, just to drive for no reason. I won't have nowhere to go, but just start driving. I might drive in a circle. Yeah, just to drive it. Your guys are just priceless, man, and I'm super proud.
Every one of us bust our ass.
That's what it's about, man.
That's what it's about. Making a team, creating the goal, and making it to the goal, man. And that's what we do.
The lift is all built for Tom's F-250. Now I'm fabricating the bar with these marine speakers that are going to go in the bed. We're going to tack it together, bolt the whole thing into the truck bed to see how it looks. What we're trying to do is put the speakers in the bed without making any more holes. So what we're done is using the bed bolts here to bolt this down. We'll mount them in the corner here, which is a factory lift hooks. And when this goes together, it's going to lock and make a really solid mount for these speakers to sit on. We're going to remove the whole thing as one piece. Once it's welded up, we're sending this and all the suspension parts we made to get powder coated.
Check that out, man. We had 28-inch wheels custom made for Tom's F-250. We finished making the suspension lift. These are some of the last things needed for the build. Jewelry for the truck.
That is bad.
It is bad. 28 by 16 with the 42-inch tire. He's gonna freak out.
That massive polished wheel is going to bring it all together as a finished product.
Yeah.
Our tire machine, Lou and I are going to do the old-fashioned way. Here, we'll put it on the ground, use some pry bars. Just really soak it real good, and it should slide right over. Now we're just going to take these pry bars, we're going to work our way around. Now we have the wheel over it. All we're going to do is put air in it, air it up. That's old-fashioned tire mounting, 101. Done.
We're making custom door panels for Tom's truck. We're going to keep the top half factory. We're going to make new lower portions. Once I'm done, it's going to be seamless. You won't be able to tell where mine ends and theirs begins. You be real careful not to glue your fingers to everything, because it happens. Now, we'll just continue that all the way around. Now that I've got the shape I want, I'm going to go ahead and glass it up to give it an extra strength. That's it. Then I'm going to go ahead and smooth it out and get it ready to wrap. Now that that's dry, I'm going to go ahead and spray on the contact cement. Ain't no stopping now. So it matches the top part of the door. Have our base of our panel wrapped. Now we're going to do our acrylic. Double pieces, double stick on here. I'm going to start routing it out right now. We want to match the pearl white of the truck, so we're going to highlight the door panels with some white acrylic. Cut out our acrylic. You can kind of see how it's going to fit in here. Lines up with the speakers, and then it leaves us our gap for our lighting that's going to go around the side and light this puppy up. Look good.
We've broken down the lift and suspension on Tom's F-250. Now it's off to powder. You know, Tom's the type of guy that's not going to cut this truck any slack. That's why we chose powder over paint. It's a way more durable finish.
So we've been powder coating stuff for Extensive for a long time. We actually prep the parts by hang them up, magnetize the parts so that the actual powder will adhere to the actual metal. Holds up with rocks, it holds up with water, it holds up with salt. It's a lot more durable. Now everything's been powder coated. We're getting ready to put it back in the oven at about 400 degrees for about 20 minutes once the metal temperature reaches the 400. And then once that's done, we'll take them out, let them cool off, and hopefully Extensive will be happy with them.
We got the console for the F-250 back from paint. We got some cool lights installed. Now we're going to load up the subwoofer. Ready? All I got left now is I got to put the lights up top, do the wiring for the subwoofers. Then we're going to put the plexiglass on the side, finish this console out. In Texas, we love our guns. We got caulking guns. Go ahead and seal this up. All right, ready? Gotta be very careful because we can't move it. Got it? Here we go. There she is. Isn't that pretty? And you can see once we get this cut out of our white acrylic, it's gonna go in here and cover up all this nastiness. And then all you can see is the prettiness.
We have a new custom bumper for the F-250. Charlie's going to color match it pearl white.
This system here, you can actually go in and look up the colors by vehicle if you don't actually have the paint code. And then it tells you the grams of each toner that you're going to put in there. In this case, we're going to need 259 grams of this super white. It's just a little bit. And this one just takes a little touch. As you can see, there's a lot of different colors that go into something as simple as just white. That should be the perfect match that we need to get the color we need to put on these parts so we can get them painted and we can get them back on the truck.
In my life, I push everything to the limit. I strive every day to build something as small as a trike that we work on. After we design and build them, we got to test it out. You know, we work hard, we play hard, we're at our best when we do both.
That's just another fun part of the business. I mean, we have a great time and totally blessed with what we do. It's cool to blow off some steam and just get out and do some donuts and crash into each other. You feel like you're 8 years old again on it.
You know, this type of stress relief isn't for everybody, but it works really well for me. Then we dust ourselves off, get right back to work. All the parts and pieces for Tom's F-250 are back from chrome, powder, and paint. We're going to put them all back together right now. As a final custom touch, we're going to put a ton of LED lights up underneath this thing. After dark, this thing's going to look like it's coming from outer space.
I'm going to run 24 LED rock lights. It's going to be high, so everybody's going to be able to look underneath this. So we don't need no wires. So anybody looks right there, it doesn't look like any wires.
Oh, what we have right here is the factory Ford front fender well. The middle ones are actually going to be for the front wheel. You know, to cover the front wheel. The sides are going to be for all the custom pieces that they fabricated.
We really want to highlight all the chrome accents on the white, so it's just going to make it pop right off.
Tom brought in his brand new F-250 bone stock. He had to have something just stood out over the top. I definitely think we're going to meet his expectations. We built this truck for Tom as a billboard for his company and for play. So we're going to meet him at the off-road park. This is where all the trucks, side-by-sides, and four-wheelers in Houston come. This truck's going to stand above them all.
Come on, man.
Today is the day.
Man, it's a nice day, and we're at the mud park, man. Come on, man. I didn't build this just for show.
You wanted a huge lift, huge tires, big stereo.
I needed it to make a statement when I pulled up.
You want the flashiness. No doubt we fulfilled that for you.
Bill invited me out here to the Extreme Off-Road Park to see my truck for the first time. I'm expecting something crazy. It better not be too clean, too, because we're going to get him dirty.
Man, let's get Timmy, bring this thing in.
Oh, that was 28. Yeah. Come on, man.
28-inch wheels with a 42-inch tall tire.
Man, look at the lip on that thing, man.
Those are one of the first of these known.
You better buy stock and dish soap, so I'm going to keep them dishes clean.
And fun bags.
When he came up and hit them bags, I was definitely excited. Timmy, look at this thing. Wow, man, this thing.
Like it?
I love it.
We start off building the whole suspension is 100% all handmade in the shop.
I see that.
Man, Bill gave us a lot of free rein and to get crazy with the pipe roller on this.
Man, ain't nothing like this out there.
I mean, the 4-link, the little drop down, huge 4-inch triple bypass shocks.
I'm about to have a bypass right now.
New bumper, color match grill.
I'm getting a little emotional right now. This thing looks so good.
There's another special in the bed for you. Say you wanted something you can listen to, hang out at a place like this?
I do.
We mounted 4 marine-grade speakers in the bed. You can unbolt it out of the factory bolts right there, pull it out if you need to haul something big, and bolt it back in.
Man, I ain't gonna be pulling that thing out, man. That's gonna stay in there.
Show them the interior.
He did a good job on these doors.
Those factory?
Check out the back of this thing.
I can see all the way through that.
Yeah.
There's speakers in there.
The subs are in the console. You see all the floating amps.
I know it looks good. Let me hear it.
Check it out.
Let me hear it.
Everybody's gonna hear him coming.
That hurt your ears or what?
Man, still ringing, still ringing.
That's many, 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 many hours
a hard labor.
I can tell.
Everybody in the shop you pitched in that really pulls through for you.
I see something here that I'm going to have for a long time. I can't thank Bill and his team enough. Man, they do awesome work. Every one of them puts every bit of heart into this. I mean, it looks so good. I need to drive it, though.
Let's check this thing out, man.
Man, wipe your feet.
Let's go.
I think he likes it, Tim.
Come on, man. Oh, we doing big 8.
Is that for the 28 time?
That's for the 2-8. Get in.
I'm in the clouds.
Hell yeah. Look around, man. It's all eyes on you. Met your standards?
Man, thank you, bro. Met my standards, man. This is above my standards.
Glad you love Big Rack.
So I get to have all the fun.
Yeah,
All right, just remember, I like bling.
Oh, I know you do.
What, you have a 69 Corvette there?
Sure is. Unbolt the body off the frame and build a whole new chassis, new suspension. We gotta wake this thing up.
Oh, I'm caught on something.
About 420 horsepower. This thing's a huge improvement.
I think it's gonna be cool as hell when it's finished.
What did you do to my car? I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal. You know, 20-something years ago, I never shop business. It just kind of evolved into what it is, and I definitely never thought I'd have a cool sound like that. I mean, that's impressive.
Now we know where we gotta go to work at.
You know, I can't say enough about my team, my guys. You know, we're all a big family. I can't say anything else, but I've been totally blessed. What do you guys think? Pretty cool, huh? You know, things have been going really good at the shop. This is just a sign of that. I feel like my business is actually legitimized now that you get an actual sign up on the building. You know, it's crazy to think, growing up on this property, I never, ever thought it would ever become what it is. You know, coming from where I come from, I come to work with a mindset, this can all go away. You know, we gotta stay hungry. We've been super busy, busier than ever. All these builds coming into the shop, every one of them is an opportunity to push our creativity even more. Big John said he might be in the neighborhood today, so he's just stopping by to check on progress.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
What's happening, John?
Same old, same old. How's everything?
Going good. How's that old milk truck doing?
Wonderful. I mean, it looks great. Runs good.
Good.
Family
Man, that's
love.
always good to hear.
Wow.
Things transformed a little bit from when it came in.
It looks totally different.
John's 1950 Ford F5 came in rough shape. It's taken months of work to get it to this point. It's just one of the coolest COEs you can find anywhere. You know, COEs have gotten pretty popular lately in the custom scene. The COE means cab over engine, which the engine sits way back and it has a short snub nose and sits up a little higher than, you know, a regular 1-ton truck. As far as the interior, we got the dash all smoothed out. You know, it had a bunch of holes in the dash and a bunch of crap everywhere.
Fantastic.
John's had just about every kind of custom car, and he really is drawn to the COEs because they're totally different. He bought this truck online. Someone grafted another set of front doors onto the back. Then we picked it up from there. New latches on it, new door handles.
It's going to be beautiful.
You know, once we get the front end back on, we'll build you some running boards that tie right back into the bed, bolt right up. You see, we already got the basic shape and style here, but we're going to build a headache rack that goes over it and then molds into the bed also.
All right, just remember, I like bling. You know.
Oh, I know you do. And what color are you thinking on this? I know you have a color preference.
Wife and I, we've been leaning towards an orange.
Just a bright orange?
Bright orange. No, nobody else has a 1950
crew cab like mine. When I see what he's done so far in the mid-build, I'm really getting excited to see the finished product.
And we got a little surprise for you back here. Well, we're going to keep that a surprise, too.
I knew you'd do that. We're there with it. I know Bill's going to do a fantastic job on it. He's got some surprises for me. And he didn't let me down on the milk truck. I don't expect him to let me down on this one. I'm going to let you get after it. See you later. Take care. See you later.
Good to see you, John.
Bye-bye.
Cool part about having a custom shop is getting to letting your creativity shine. When long projects like this, where you're doing body work all day, you're doing metal work all day, I hate it. I'm an instant gratification guy. I want to see progress every day. We've done a ton of work to this to get to this stage. This is really starting to where it gets fun, but you know, the work isn't over. The work's just starting on a different level. That all is part of the puzzle along the way. Getting to the end of the puzzle is a big Man, Big John seemed like he was pretty happy about the bed when he stopped by.
Man, I saw you over here talking. He looked overall happy with the whole truck.
Yeah, he loves it.
Gentlemen, here we are again.
You already know this thing's been here a while. It's been a long road to get this thing to where it was at. You know, it was old rat rod style, just nothing fit, nothing lined up.
50% done?
Just about that. Once it's in this stage, man, I really think we're on the downhill slope for sure. We're going to build a cool custom headache rack to fit the side of the cab, to make it fit this truck. I want to incorporate a wood bed on top of this, but not just sitting on top. I want it recessed down into the bed, and I want to bring that wood down on the running boards also.
Man, that'll be a cool touch.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody do that.
Plus, it makes it look like it all goes with the truck. It all ties
flows through. So, anything else you're thinking?
You know, Big John told me he's got to have the bling, so he wants chrome accents everywhere. Chrome grill, chrome bumpers, chrome mirrors, chrome handles. You know, with a nice bright orange, this thing is going to be really cool and stand out.
You want everything bright, shiny?
Absolutely. Okay. So we definitely... We're going with the Western Holler look. A real clean flatbed with a little something extra. It's time to get John busy on this metal work.
So, man.
Ready to get going on this thing?
Yes, sir.
Now's the fun part. Now we can really start to get creative with this thing and show what we can do.
So I get to have all the fun?
Yeah. What I want to do is incorporate, you know, like bed wood in a flatbed. And I also want you to start building the running boards on this. And I want wood inset in the running boards too. So you can actually use it. You can step on it and not have to worry about messing the paint up. I think bringing the color of the wood as a contrast to the bright orange paint that's going to be on here, this thing is really going to stand out. Be a huge surprise for him.
So we're going to have to use nothing but the finest orange tree wood.
We're leaving it up to you, buddy.
It's time to get to work. So we're going to start making this running board here. So what I'm going to do first is cut me out a piece of square tubing for this outside edge, and then start cutting out everything else I need to bolt that to the cab, bolt onto the fender, bolt onto the bed so it's removable. What I want this to do is fit real snug up against here. Just almost perfect, and then hit it with a grinder to make it perfect. This is it. This is going to be the perfect fit. The design we're going with on the running board is going to kind of represent the shape of the bed. We're going to have some nice sharp corners in its design. So once this is all tacked up in place, I'll break these bars off and you'll be able to see what I've created on this outside edge. So the purpose of these marks that I'm making is just a reference of where I need to bend it. I'll hit it on the opposite side of that mark, which will bend it the way that I need it to hug this fender tightly. This fender likes tight hugs, in case you're wondering. Now we gotta poke some holes. Now I got the structure of the running board. I'm gonna throw some ribs in here to connect the outside outside to the inside where it's going to be bolted up to the cab and start building the frame for the wood inserts.
What's that?
So, we're going to have to take a little tamale break. We'll be back to you shortly.
On the bed of this COE, I want the design to flow from the front, seamless wood inlay.
Now I got the running board drawn out. Now I know exactly how to shape the wood inserts that are going to get cut out on the CNC table. After we cut our blanks out of MDF just to build off of, we use cheap MDF. That way there's no worries if it gets burnt and messed up. We could go back and cut the hardwood out with the same file, and it'll be the exact same dimensions. And all we have to do is drop those in for final assembly. Let's see what we got here. Nice. Now I'm gonna start making all the metal trim that goes around here. What we're about to do is cut out some 18 gauge sheet metal. And then we're gonna cut down some strips about 1 inch wide, break it right in the middle and make 90-degree angles. And what I'm gonna do is form that to fit around those wood templates that we got. So we can set that into the running board. And what this is gonna be is just a big frame for the wood. This is gonna look really nice.
You know, one of the cool parts about being this busy, we get the chance to really work on some iconic rides. You know, some of them we never even had a chance to work on before, and putting our spin on them for the... Hey, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing? Josh, just driving in from Austin. Nice to meet you, Bill.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Tim, nice to meet you.
What do you have, a 69 Corvette there?
Sure is.
Well, let's check it out.
All right.
The 69 Stingray was part of the third generation of Corvettes. At the time, it was the height of American muscle. Man, it's a good-looking car.
Thanks.
And these little Stingrays are always going to be classic. Just the body lines, the way everything looks, they're just an iconic car.
Yeah, I got that ducktail rear end.
They're timeless. Like, you can have them another 50 years and they'll still be in style.
Yeah, this was a classic year.
Josh, what are you seeing, man? You want to change the color on this thing, or?
No, I like the color. I think it's got a pretty good paint job. But being from Austin, you know, just all the hills and stuff, it needs to drive better.
Definitely.
Man, this car is really special to me. I got it from a friend, and, you know, it looks great. The car just stops traffic. If it drove as good as it looks, that would be my dream.
Heck yeah. So keep the original look, just with a lot of performance.
Perfect. That's exactly what I want.
Josh, I think to make this thing really, really cool, handle good, ride good, we just need to unbolt the body off the frame and just start over. Build a whole new chassis, new suspension, and make this thing really exciting to drive.
You can do that?
Hell yeah.
That would be fantastic.
And the side pipe
look, yeah.
I mean, it looks great, but man, they're a little tired. I think maybe even making these things out of stainless, polish them up, would just be a total package then.
Boy, I wasn't really thinking about that when I rolled up, but now that you mention it, man, that just makes the picture perfect.
Josh, what we got under the hood?
Let me show you. You can see it's just a stock 350.
Out of the factory, the 69 Stingray, with its fiberglass body and its small block, made it top of the line. However, these days, we can do a lot better. Man, Josh, with the brand new frame, new suspension, we need something with a lot more power. I'm thinking LS in this thing and really wake it up.
Man, if you're going to do all that, it's going to need a 6-speed in it.
Yeah.
You put a 6-speed in this car being so light, it's just going to be fun to drive.
Man, that'd be a 1-2 punch. Man, this thing, you're going to be able to just get in it, turn the key, and go all the way to California if you want to. All that power in Austin, up and down those hills. Man, am I excited.
And the inside looks good. Just the only thing you need is a stereo in this thing. Something with a nice sound in it.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it wide open to you. I know y'all come up with something.
Josh, if that sounds good, man, let's get this thing unloaded and get going. Let's make it happen.
All right, Bill.
Nice to meet you, Josh.
Thanks, Tim.
Yes, sir.
Some years on it, but this thing still has great styling. It looks really good, in great shape. You know, this old vet like this is always going to be just timeless. The body itself it's a work of art. In the 60s, you know, this thing was top of the line. You know, everybody talks about how much power they had, how well it handled. You know, that's all you hear growing up. To today's standards, you know, a family sedan is outperforming this thing right off the assembly line. And, you know, that's sad.
and top it off for me when you're done.
This guy. Look good in there, Rudy.
Like my new car?
Whole lot better than them glasses.
What are you talking about? You guys don't know anything about style.
Well, what does have style is a 1969 Corvette, right?
Oh, yeah.
What isn't stylish is the suspension under this thing.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with that.
We gotta wake this thing up. We're gonna start by lifting this thing up, unbolting the chassis, dropping it down, and rolling it out, and starting fresh. We'll get some metal off the shelf and just start building a new frame for this thing. We're hand making a better performance. We gotta be super careful with this fiberglass shell, or it'll create a ton of structural issues. A 20-inch wheel and tire with some meat on the back of this thing.
Something to put the power to the ground.
That's it. New independent front suspension, front and rear. New engine, manual transmission.
We're just gonna rip out everything old on this thing and give it a new extensive style.
That's it. We're gonna keep the body of this thing. I mean, look at it. It's in great shape. I mean, it's showing some wear, though.
Yeah.
We're gonna wet sand and buff it and just make it look like it would have looked in 1969.
It's gonna look good.
Well, let's get this thing up on the lift. Let's get going on and get it tore down. Start building this thing. Don't forget your safety glasses.
Man, go ahead and take them off so y'all stop ridiculing me on me. My cool glasses. We'll be back, baby. Yo, Tim!
I'm coming. The fiberglass body is already fragile. With this 50-year-old fiberglass body, we gotta be super careful.
All right, got it.
When you're tearing apart a chassis on a metal body, no problem. Shape this, hammer that, make it work. Totally different with the fiberglass body. You gotta work with what's there. There's no shaping this, there's no reconstructing without causing yourself a whole lot of issues later. With the whole frame. Might leave this. That'll hold the radiator in the whole spot and everything.
Yeah, I'll just take this one, wipe it off.
And Rudy, that bolt's never coming out.
Between the fiberglass and all these bolts, a lot of people would think twice before tearing this chassis out. However, that's not to say it doesn't need replacing.
Most of these bolts were weathered and rusted together. So if this car would have been metal, it probably would have rusted through.
What do you think?
Let's find out. Here, go up. Whoa! Caught on something.
Tim and Rudy pulling out the chassis of the 1969 Stingray so we can build one custom. As usual around here, it's easier said than done.
A lot of these boats have nuts on the backside of them, which are tucked in behind little small crevices. Oh, right here for the body mount in the back. And if you look in here, there's one more bolt here for the body. I mean, look at that. Once you take that lid off, come to find out this car used to actually be yellow. The secrets you find tearing these cars apart.
Corvettes, just one thing after another. You never would have thought it had taken this long just to find all the bolts, but we're going to get this body separated here in about 5 minutes.
Ready?
Ready. Keep on. We're good. This thing out?
Gladly.
Check it out, Tim.
It looks really good, Rudy.
Make sure it don't hit the ground. Perfect.
One of the first steps in the whole frame building process is finding out where everything goes. We make most of our custom chassis on a table before we install them. You know, there's not a lot of room underneath this fiberglass body, so we got doing something we don't normally do. We're gonna build the chassis right to the body. You know, that way it's gonna fit 100% on the first try. So the first thing's finding center of the fender well for the wheel and spindle.
Okay, we need to go back just a hair.
This way?
Yeah.
There's a lot of adjusting, a lot of tweaking, a lot of moving to find that that sweet spot. Man, I like how that looks on this car. Everything is exactly in line, both directions. We know exactly how much room we have to build the frame around. So next step is to get started.
We got some 2x4 tubing. We're gonna run down both sides, connect it across the back, then we'll build the rear subframe off of that. Go ahead and just plasma it out real quick. So we're going to plasma out the tubing so the DOM can slide in here. We'll cut a little bigger so we'll have room to play. That's what's gonna connect the body to the frame rails. This will go to the bottom of the car. The bolts will go through and hold it tight. When we drop the frame, we'll weld the tops all the way around. This is gonna be our 4-link mount. This is what's going to connect the rear subframe to the main frame of the car. Now the structure of the 4-link mount is made. This is the rear subframe. This will be the main frame. With the whole frame welded out, this frame's going to be extra strong and be perfect for what Josh wants to do in the hills of just and see what he can do.
I bet your favorite teacher was an arts and crafts teacher, huh?
No, not really, because she was old, mean-ass lady. John's made great progress on the F5 COE bed, so now we can move to the headache rack. You know, the truck itself has some great styling, so we're going to emulate that into the style and curves in the back, the little headache rack. You know, there's the inside and outside to this thing, so I want to get the inside piece to have the exact same line as the outside. It's super difficult to get in between there and kind of get back and trace, so thinking I'll use just a light and a little shadow right there. We'll have a perfect line to trace, and then it'll match up perfect.
Now we got everything traced out. Now it's time to cut out these metal parts. Since these pieces are so big, you got to kind of plan out where you're going to cut first and where you're going to end until the big pieces fall. And always make sure you wear steel-toe boots when stuff is landing on you. When I first started out welding, when I was young, maybe like 12, 13, my dad told me, I'm getting you a grinder for Christmas. I seen your welds. Damn.
Tack it in, have it right up against it, and then it just naturally curve up. Alright, cool. Get that other piece up here. This thing's really taking shape. I love the flow of it. It fits the truck very well. So the next step is just making a bunch of filler pieces.
And make the final cap at the corner. Not only is this curved this way, but it's also twisted as it curves. So it got me some reference marks drawn out there. And once I connect them from side to side, you'll see how I'm gonna have to force my brakes in this metal to make it roll and kind of twist at the same time. Then take it over to the English wheel, form it a little bit. On the English wheel, the top wheel is flat, and the bottom wheel has a contour to it. And as you roll the metal through here, it kind of shapes the sheet metal to the lower wheel and gives it that radius that the lower wheel has. Make sure you could go put this on us in it. You know, you want it to be smooth, so this is the best way of doing that. Now we gotta weld this out, but we can't run a consistent bead because it'll generate too much heat, so we gotta move it around. If not, this piece will just deform on you, warp, and it won't look too well.
It's always good to see progress on these big builds. The headache rack and bed are taking shape on this F5 COE. So much to the point, we can plot out where the wood's gonna be. Ready to get this wood laid out?
Yep.
We'll go with all the same spacing that's on the running boards, 2-inch on the outer side, 1.5 in the inside, just to give a little style to it.
Yeah.
You don't want to give John something a little different, something nobody's really seen before that shows everyone we don't take a car in just to get it done. We want to build it with passion.
Now we got all the big pieces of floor out. Now I got to notch all the brake bracing down about an inch to accommodate the 3/4 inch hardwood that's gonna go in there, plus the bracing that I gotta build around it. We don't want these bracing to fill up with water when you're driving in the rain, if you get caught in the rain. So we gotta cap it, seal it up, and then once that's done, we can build all the frame for the wood inserts. That's why Daddy gave me a grinder all those years ago. Thanks, Dad.
Because we're building the chassis of the 1969 Corvette directly to the body of the car, we're going to put the motor and trans in place and build everything else around it. Came in, huh?
I did.
2012 Camaro, about 420 horsepower, and this thing's a huge improvement.
Man, 6-speed, the car's so short, low to the ground, and all the new suspension, it's just going to run, drive like a little go-kart all the time. All we do now is slide it in, get it leveled, and I think we're ready. We go back a little bit. Ooh. You hit right there now. Catching the top a little bit. Hit the back up. Tight. Man, it's a whole lot of power in this car. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of fun with this motor. You talking about whenever you level it up and get it centered? Good job. No, man, I'm talking about when I'm driving it.
Our next step is to put a cross member for the chassis that'll hold both sides together and keep the engine in place.
So I just went ahead and drew my center line. That way I know when I match everything up, everything's gonna be nice and straight, center, parallel. Center lines are your best friends. Level this. We look centered in the wheel well, Rudy? Yeah. We're attaching our final pieces to connect our front frame section to our actual frame. Normally people would usually just use 2 mounts, but we're gonna go ahead and reinforce it with 3, only because it's a fiberglass body, and so any vibration can start cracking at any point. All we have to do now is make a pipe that's going to connect the bracket to the frame. I like to grab a little small piece of copper tubing because it's easy for me to work the shape out by hand. We want to keep the front end as rigid as possible. We don't want this fiberglass to crack. Once the fiberglass cracks, this thing is whack. So I have my pipes cut out. Now I have to go ahead and bend it to match this angle. And then we'll just throw a little weld on there. Our piece is going to be bending underneath the radiator here. That looks pretty good, Rudy.
Building the chassis to the Corvette body took some extra engineering, but now it's super strong and in the perfect place to build the front suspension off of.
Do your thing, weld it out right there. Cool, let's do it. We do it with a bare coilover, it's easier just for everything to clear. And a lot of the Pro Touring cars, the high-powered cars that are trying to get into the corners and make it handle real stiff, they're going to these coilovers, which is we're going to do the same on this car. What this is going to do is the spring will hold the car up. If we raise this up, car raise up an inch. You want to lower the car, it'll allow the spring to collapse the same amount, and the car actually lower. What the shock does, this just keeps the car solid. If you want a little stiffer ride, you add a little bit more shock. Less, you add a little less shock. So it's a perfect setup for these Pro Touring style cars.
With the front suspension in place, we can fit the C4 differential to the rear. Things looking good, that's perfect placement for this thing. But we're so limited of room underneath here. By the time we get the lower arms on, the spindles on, the 4-link, we want the coilover back up front. So the body here is in the way. And so let's go ahead and cut all this out so we got plenty of room to mock the shock up. And this is one of the last things we got to do to this chassis. Rudy, you be able to ride in style. Put them glasses back on.
Where are your glasses? He yelled back to my sister.
To leave the classic body, stop. But if we had to cut anything, it'd be the storage boxes that sit behind the seat that folks hardly used anyway. Because we need so much more room for the coilover and a couple extra braces, we're just going to take these boxes completely out of the way, and all the structure of the car is going to stay up in here, so we kept all that. These storage boxes, they can go and it won't hurt nothing at all.
Because we went with a wider wheel and a lot deeper offset, there's a whole lot less real estate underneath the 69 Corvette for the suspension. So we're going to have to modify the C4 suspension that we're putting in this to fit perfect.
Now we have the are in, mocked up in place, what we're gonna do is put a spindle on the wheel, put the wheel up here in place, and make sure the wheel is centered in the wheel well.
You know, we don't want the wheel too far out, but then obviously it's gonna hit the outside of the fender. It's gonna either tear up our fiberglass or it's gonna start tearing up our tire on our wheel. We definitely don't need that.
Is that where you want it, Rick? Look good? Level, center in the wheel well?
Yeah.
Now everything's set right where we want it. First thing we're gonna do is make the bars that connect the frame to the spindle, which is gonna be a 4-link.
Our center pieces for our 4-links, typically they're a little bit longer than this, but our car being so small and compact is what we're gonna get. But it's gonna work. So go ahead and tack these up, weld them all out. Now 4 links will be done. Want to trace the top of this? When you're driving down the road, you want the wheels to be in alignment at all times. So I'm making a camber bar to give the suspension more rigidity. How's that look?
That's good out here.
So moving on, we're gonna go ahead and start installing our coilover.
For the most part, the rear suspension is fitting well, except for the drive shafts that are just too big. Rudy's gonna cut these, use them for mock-up. We'll take them to the drive shaft specialist to have brand new ones made.
And there she goes. Cutting, cutting. Woo! Perfect. We're gonna keep this one. We're gonna measure 1 3/4 and cut it out. Cool, there we go. It's the excess we don't need no more, so we'll get rid of that. This is what we need now. Mock it up on the car. That'll be our mock-up drive shaft.
Ooh, this thing looking good. You know, the new frame looks so nice and rigid. This thing is going to be a blast to drive around on the hills and through the curves. So you ready to get it separated? Let's get this thing off the powder coat and really make it shine.
Successfully remove the body from the frame. A whole lot easier than doing it from the factory frame.
The chassis is just getting back from powder coat, so I got Justin making brand new headers and side pipe. It'll give it a meaner, way more custom look.
So we're about to start the build on these headers for the 69 Corvette. It's going to be a side-mounted exhaust with the muffler integrated into it. One of the key things on building a set of custom headers is you need to look and find out which one's going to be your hardest tube to place. In this case right here, it's going to be this front runner. So we're going to start from right here, and we're going to build this tube all the way out to hold our collect until we get the other 3 out. You can see right here, we got a lot of bends and twists on this exhaust system. Reason being is we have a lot of components that we need to try to avoid, like our steering shaft, our motor mount. So we're gonna end up doing some 45s or some pretty steep bends to get it to clear. These things are gonna be crazy looking when we get done with them. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go ahead and get this first tube marked. We're gonna go to the table and tack it. Then we're gonna start tacking our next tube until we get out to our collector. You know, I mean, it's a lot of cutting, welding, grinding, until you end up with a finished product that you're happy with. What we're using is a 304 stainless material. The material we're using is twice as thick almost as your traditional headers. Stainless is a little bit tougher to cut, so it's a little bit harder on your blades, and the welding process is totally different. I'm using a TIG weld to give it a cleaner, smaller seam than a regular weld, and that's what you're looking for on exposed stainless steel headers. But the finished product is you got a header that'll last forever, it won't rust, and it looks cool as hell when it's finished. Alright, now that we got everything tacked up, we can go ahead and test fit it on the car, make sure everything's good, and then work on our side pipes. We can start from our V-band down, and that's going to be the fun part where we'll get to add the muffler, kind of quieten it down a little bit so it sounds a little bit more street friendly. From here, we're gonna go ahead and slide a 3-inch tube in here to come out almost to the end of where our side exit is gonna be. What we're gonna end up doing is sliding a 4-inch tube over the 3-inch tube, and what that's gonna do, it's gonna serve as a heat shield to help protect his leg if he ever touches it. After this is welded out and polished, it's just gonna look like one straight 4-inch pipe from the collector all the way out to the tip. We'll go ahead and weld these out, repeat the process on the other side, and these pipes will be good to go.
Now that we got this 1969 Corvette to 21st century performance standards, it's time to fix that stereo. So John's gonna make a handmade modern day speaker box.
You know, a Corvette is all about its nice smooth lines and curves. So same thing with the box. We don't want just a square enclosure in here. We're gonna put a little something to it, still make it nice and rugged and durable and usable. What I'm doing here is I'm just kind of sketching out my shape that I want on the front of this box. This is actually going to be the front side where the seats sit. Once I get the sides cut, the next thing I'll do is actually cut the opening in the top here and let it follow the curve that I put in this side panel here. So basically when I'm kerfing something, I just move my saw blade every 1/4 inch so it leaves enough meat in there to hold together. If you go in too deep, it'll end up breaking off. So you want to make sure you just get the right height set on your blade and just move the fence over and over and over.
You know, me growing up, no really direction of what I want to do. I know I didn't want to go to college. That college wasn't for me.
Sure wasn't for me either. I mean, to be honest, I didn't even finish high school. You know, I got halfway there and I couldn't learn by reading a book or listening to a teacher or anything. The only way I learned was by using my hands.
Yeah.
And my dad, fortunately, had a shop established already, so after school I would go and mess around with stuff. He seen what I could do and my mom seen what I could do, and they figured I was wasting teachers' time, so.
Yeah. And everybody learns different. You know, for me, it's getting out, making the mistakes, and learning from the mistakes.
Exactly.
You know, that's how I learned doing what we do. That's how you get good at doing what you do, is making those mistakes, and everybody's going to make them. Learn from them. Go from there. Better yourself from that.
Messed up a whole lot of stuff, huh?
Right? Still do. You see a lot of Corvette bodies laying around custom shops totally unfinished. And now we definitely know why. Adding custom suspension and a chassis is a lot of work. To my team's credit, we're almost through the tunnel. Once John's finished installing the custom speaker box, it's time to give this thing back to Josh.
This thing's turned out looking awesome. So all I got left to do now is carry it over, plug it in, set it in the car, and I think he's gonna like it. Oh, squeeze. Thanks, sir.
Already?
Man, like a glove. Might need to wash the car a little bit.
This vet was definitely a challenge for us, but man, just looking at the stance of this car and just the overall look at it, we definitely all did our job. This thing looks badass.
Deal, Bill. Look at that.
What's happening, man?
Hey, how you doing, dude?
What did you do to my car? I love it.
What do you think, man?
Man, oh man. You outdid yourself.
Man, you got here just in time. I thought Rudy's going to take off with it.
I would too if I were you.
Me and her had a good emotional connection. So I took really good care of her for you.
Oh, it looks like it. Oh man, this is fantastic. You know, I really like the look of the car, and I didn't really know how it was going to turn out, but now I'm really tickled.
Yeah, working on this car was a complete new experience for us. With it being a fiberglass body, we had to be extra precautious, even just tearing it down.
I mean, it definitely had some challenges. Took out that old engine, took out the old chassis. We just had this thing up on the lift, leveled it all up, and started building the frame piece by piece to the car.
Boy, it ought to drive like a rocket.
Man, absolutely. We know you wanted that C4 suspension on this thing, with the upper and lower aluminum control arms, aluminum spindle. It looks really cool underneath the car, especially with the addition of the coilovers on this thing.
No kidding.
Everything underneath this car is 100% brand new.
Oh, that's what I wanted.
These wheels and tires are a huge upgrade too with the low pro to 20s. That's really going to help the handling of this thing also.
Yeah, they almost look stock. Yeah. On the outside, it still looks like a 69 Vet. And then you start looking through the wheels and you start seeing body parts that you know don't go on that car. Yeah. They're super upgraded.
Especially the side pipes on this thing too. The other ones, just were tired. You need to upgrade. You definitely got that.
And y'all custom made those?
We had Justin build you a one-off set of headers and side pipes on this thing that really just wake this thing up.
No kidding. Those crazy side pipes and headers are unbelievable. Built by hand, one of a kind. How's it run?
Man, that old tired 350 in that thing is long gone. You got a new 6.2 in here, has a ton of horsepower. We know you like the manual transmission. I had a 4-speed in it, now it has a 6-speed. So this thing's gonna be fun to drive.
I'll bet. Yeah, you did me a custom shifter too. That's really cool.
With all this extra power, I know you're gonna spend a lot of time in this thing, so we definitely had to upgrade the stereo in this thing. It's got 6-inch full range speakers and 1,000 watts of power.
Wow.
You won't have any trouble hearing this thing.
No, I won't have to sing to myself anymore.
Man, Josh, there's only one way to really see it out.
Thanks, Rudy.
All right, no problem, Josh. You take good care of her now.
I will. Whoa. I love it. Can't say enough about this car. It's just over the top. Thanks, Extensive. Man, you guys blew it out of the park. I knew you could do it.
It's crazy to think how much time we put into the metalwork and the bed of the Ford COE already. And I feel like we're just getting started. This looks good. I know it's a lot of work, man, but this is definitely going to pay off.
Man, John's really going to love this thing when he gets it back.
He can't not. Let's get the panels in here. Shoot, if they all fit good, let's get it off the powder coat. We still have to make the suspension, bedwood, custom interior, and paint. And wouldn't you know it, Big John just called with one more thing he wants to do. Man, this looks real good.
Also get that good wood in here with that paint separating the panels.
Yes.
Man, it's going to look really nice.
Absolutely. It's going to look totally unique, totally set it apart from anything else. We'll forget about all that hard work once. It's part of the whole custom scene. Everybody's always looking to be bigger, better, and one of a kind. And this one...
Nobody would have ever said the first builder did that. It would have been on Extensive.
Where to begin?
Man, what do you do with this thing?
Party, we go to shows.
No, this just isn't keeping up. Let's get crazy, all right?
Ice, beer, food.
This thing's going to be so loud that it's going to slap them right in the face.
Oh, my God. Man, that's crazy. I love it.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Every day on my way to work, I always pick up some breakfast for myself. And I tend to pick up a little extra for the dogs on the streets. When I get to the shop, I usually have 3 or 4 dogs, Extensive. We like to take care of business. That's inside the shop, outside the shop, it goes all the way around. And when I say outside the shop, I mean the neighborhood dogs.
A lot of them are super friendly. They just come up into the shop, walk around, look around, check out the new projects, and go on with their day.
Don't drop them off here, but the ones who need help, we got a big heart and try to help them all the time. After a little bit of TLC, they become part of our gang. So just like everybody takes care of each other here at the shop, we
We gotta take care of them, and they take care of us. My friend Dorian owns PSE, our diesel guys, says he has a customer with, a truck that has a few little issues. So today we're gonna get it in and check it out. Hearing creaks and moans in a truck that high off the ground could mean multiple things. Could be just a little lube here and there, or it could be a catastrophe waiting to happen.
What's up, man?
How's it going, man?
CJ.
How you doing, man? Nice to meet you. This is the one you were telling me about, huh?
That's the one, man.
Man, it looks good from here, but you got some problems underneath.
A lot of problems. It's all yours now.
Well, man, let's check it out.
Yeah, I'll let y'all talk. I'm gonna go talk to Rudy.
All right. You see a couple issues just as soon as you walk up to it, huh? Just all the welding and grinding and everything up front. It just looks... Man, you can't have that. Oh, man.
Told you it was bad.
These drop downs are just super sketchy, man. There's nothing even holding this but bolts on the outside. Man, that holds the whole weight of the truck, your load, everything. There's nothing to hold this thing from flipping out. Man, that is really dangerous. A stock 2017 F350 with no lift weighs over 8,000 pounds. This is exactly what I didn't want to see. A truck this high that weighs this much, that somebody could be driving down the road next to my family and yours. I mean, it's super unsafe, and this is something that needs to be addressed immediately. Oh, man. I thought this was the bad part, but that's...
Needs a lot of attention back there, Bill.
You don't even have really any of the plates bending. Bag mounts are all twisted. The 4-link bracket is about to rip off the axle. And whoever did this has no business building anything like this at all.
And the sad part is it hasn't even been driven, really.
Man, thank God you didn't get in it and drive it down the street and hook a trailer to this thing. Yeah. It's just an accident waiting to happen.
It's not good. I go to shows and travel all across the country, and this is one of the trucks that I use to do most of the traveling with, and I have a lot of weight back there that I pull around too, and a lot of money back there too, so if something happens, I don't know what I would have done. When I picked it up, I didn't know that it was that bad. It was that crazy.
What do you put behind this? You got a gooseneck trailer for this thing?
I got a 40-foot. I've got 2 matching rigs. I got a big 95 old body style, and I got another matching Tahoe. And they all go on that 40-foot, so I needed to do what I bought it to do.
Oh, you want to be able to actually use it?
Yeah. Need a usable dually. Right now, I can't even drive it. Feels like it's going to fall apart.
Man, I've seen this look a million times when you're giving someone the bad news. He paid good money for somebody to do this to his vehicle, and we got to redo it again. That's how the Tree of Shame was built. Let's get this thing unloaded, man. We'll get going on it, and we'll make it right for you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Let's go make it official.
Let's do it.
This is Texas, so everybody wants, custom vehicle. Because of that, there's almost an endless supply of customers that want to get work done to their vehicle, and there's plenty of shops around. Just take advantage of that. Don't really know what they're doing. They just want to make a quick buck, and this is a prime example. Unfortunately, we do see this quite often. You definitely have to be careful of who does your work for you. Especially on a project of this size, man, as heavy as this thing is, it's probably 8,500 pounds. That going at 70, 80 miles an hour and something breaking on this thing is going to somersault down the road and it's going to kill somebody. When we're done with this truck, this thing's not only going to look cooler, it's going to be way safer.
I didn't know Fisher Price made lift kits.
This is scary. This is super dangerous. There is no kind of support here holding this to the frame other than, I think they have 1 or 2 bolts underneath here. That's it. Bolts on the outside, a couple of them are just for looks. They're just stuck in the whole silicone. Well, man, it's really scary.
And please tell me he didn't drive this thing here.
Man, he didn't drive it. He's only drove it around the parking lot, maybe a quarter mile, half a mile.
That's all the damage of just the stopping and starting with this much weight with some shady brackets like that.
I can't believe somebody sold him this job.
I mean, that's just, unfortunately, that's what, a lot of people don't know. They're driving around with stuff like this. I mean, that's really scary. There's definitely a few things that we got to address on this thing. One of the first ones is putting some support back into this, attaching it to the frame, making it super safe and strong. We can use what's here. The basic design is here. The geometry is, for the most part, correct. Build some supports, some nice tubular supports to connect each thing. We can powder coat it in blue to match all the rest of the truck. And that'll tie everything in together. Next we're just gonna pull the axle completely out. Let's start over fresh, cut everything off. The 4-link brackets, the bag brackets, all of it's trash. We'll build all new bracketry, incorporate some tube work in that also, so it looks cool and is really strong.
Everywhere you look, there's something going on.
At least we got a lot of stuff we can put on the tree of shame.
Definitely get that extensive forest going.
There's going to be a lot. Let's go, man. Let's get ready.
Alright, first thing we got to do before we lift this truck, we got to release the air pressure out of the bags. Like that.
This is like a crime scene investigation. Tim and John got to go through every inch of this truck to find all the bad work, tear it all out. Then we can start to make things right.
Man, look at this. We got a rub mark here from the tire. If it would have rubbed even more, it would have eventually went all the way through and we would have lost air pressure in this corner and would have just been a disaster. When you removed that bag on that side, was it tight?
Had a little rock to it.
We got like 1/8-inch gap between the base of the bag and where it's supposed to sit. One turn and it came off. Look at that. Look how many threads was holding. Just one thread.
They're uneven cuts, even strip bolts that are welded together.
You're not supposed to weld bolts, right? Because they're weak.
You had to cut the bracket so it would fit.
You got a weak point on top, might as well make the bottom one weak too, huh?
Plate comes all the way down to here and over, here and over. And nothing in the back.
Hollow inside, huh?
Nothing tying them together. So all it is a big prop bar just peeling that metal away. You see,
that's why it's ripped right here and right there.
There's a bar 7 foot long. When that bar moves up, all it's doing is peeling this back like a tin can. This is the weakest point right here. It's just gonna start peeling that metal up.
Where to begin?
In order for John and I to even get started on this rear end, let's cut everything off of it that was done before, go back to stock, start over from scratch, and do it 100% right.
So we can rebuild it the right way. We're going to keep the existing drop-down brackets, but Tim and John are going to add a ton of strength to them.
Okay, so what I'm about to do is burn out a 4-inch by 4-inch hole here. That way it gives us access to the bolts we're going to add to this. So we can reach in here and put a nut on every bolt that we can. That way it makes it extra tight to the frame.
When we tore this down, there was a big gap between the bracket and the frame. There were still little gaps, so we filled it in with flat bar. Now that that's filled in, that gives it a solid mount. We bent this piece here, bolted to the frame, and then we'll weld it all the way down. So what it's ultimately going to be is a cradle that sandwiches a frame, and have bars in between that make it 100% strong and sturdy.
Working on a previously customized vehicle is a lot more work to go back and fix than something you just start from scratch. Righting a wrong, in this case, a bunch of wrongs, have been a big part of my business. On the other hand, I like the challenge. It keeps us on point. Yeah, always read. And good thing too, because we're always getting calls. Come on over, we need some help.
Middle. Peter.
I'm driving. Hey, what's happening, man?
Oh, hey, what's up? Phil? Eric.
Nice to meet you, man. This yours, huh?
Yeah, this is mine.
Man, what do you do with this thing?
Party, we go to shows.
Yeah.
And, this just isn't keeping up. I got the trailer down in Florida. It pulled into my booth. It was pretty cool, towed behind this cool van. It was my birthday, had the for sale sign on it. Gave a little nudge to my wife, and here we are.
You just need something just to wake this thing up to draw the crowd over to your booth, huh?
Exactly, yeah. What I want it to be like, is when we show up, it's like, Stealth has arrived. This badass trailer that we get ice, beer, food, everyone's hanging out.
I don't see any place here for any ice or any storage or anything right here. Just
No, it's pretty blank right now.
Man, I love the idea of a party trailer. I mean, the basics are here. We just got to expand upon it and make something over the top and just cool. Man, we can definitely wake this thing up. Like this grill, man. This was... did you find this?
Yeah, well, it fit, so I put it in there.
Carry on this thing. You got a party trailer, you gotta have music. You gotta have a lot of music. And maybe even some air suspension on this thing. Something where you can raise and lower when you're going off-road. We can get crazy with it.
Yeah.
If you're down for that.
Yeah. Crazy is what I want. Let's get crazy, all right? Whatever it takes to make something cool. I want people to come up to our booth. I want to be able to hear what's going on. I want to be able to project that sound as drinks, as food, people hanging out, music. I mean, this is going to be awesome. Yeah, let's do it. Go all out,
Man,
get this thing out here. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, sweet.
All right. Party trailer was a great idea. It's a great concept. It works okay. It draws some attention. But we're going to take this thing and just draw a lot of attention. This thing is going to be not just something people are going to talk about. Wherever show it's at, wherever event it's at, people are going to want to come see this in person. On a vehicle, you got to work around what's there. There's all kind of parameters to work with. Something like this, you just have a good time, only restricted by your imagination. And we're going to let our imagination just go crazy on this. You're creating a party and...
Looks like it's got sausage in it.
Mine's better than yours.
Need a cerveza. Need something.
Do you ever work?
We're just trying it out.
Make sure it works, huh?
It'll work.
It's not lunchtime anymore.
Well, it's taco time now.
Yeah. Well, this is the next project we're going to be doing right here.
Cool.
This thing it's cool. But we're going to make it way, way cooler. We're going to make this thing party on wheels.
Fully functioning, one stop, make it, eat it, party.
Absolutely. Right now we just have an old wore-out grill, old smoker. That's it. No storage, no place for ice, no place for drinks. New grill, new smoker, just something just crazy.
We have a tortilla maker.
Pretty cool. You?
Yeah, I'll go with the trailer everywhere. That would be cool.
Next problem this thing has is suspension. This thing's almost riding on solid axle. We're going to put air suspension on this thing too. Going to car shows, events, and you know how loud some of those events get. So we want this to be the loudest. Not only loud, we want the lighting, we want cooking, eating, the total experience.
Cool, man. After this thing gets the suspension down, we can go to town. I see a bunch of tower speakers around here.
We got room in here for a few subs. We can get in here, get playing some nice lows out for everybody.
Yeah, right out the bottom. Like maybe some acrylic on the top. You can light it up.
And we'll cut cup holders into the acrylic.
That's an awesome idea. We were told to go crazy, so that's what we're going to do is go crazy on it. Let's make something just totally off the wall.
I think we got it. We've done a couple things. We'll be all right.
All right.
All right.
Finish my taco.
Start tearing this thing down, brother?
Yes, sir. I guess taco time's over. It's time to tear it up and build a new place to eat.
Let's do it.
Hey, easy, buddy.
Right now, we're going to go and pull all this wood out of here so Bill and the guys can do what they got to do.
There it goes.
Easy enough.
Wow. Good. Going up, day 2. For a regular trailer just going down the street hauling whatever, these axles work pretty well. But with them having that big tire on it, it makes it want to bounce more. There's no kind of shock system to it. The 4-link system is going to be a way better system, especially going off-road, little twists and turns. You know, you want a little more clearance out of it. It's going to ride a whole lot smoother than just this one axle right here. Yeah, it's probably a good thing he's changing it. It's all broke right here. It's all cracked. It looks like it's been broke a couple of times. I just kept adding weld to it every time it broke. At least it's at the right place now. Not even that heavy. No wonder it was bending up. Yeah. That's out. Now we have the axle out of the way, we have the brackets out of the way. We can clean this all up and we can start fresh. So we're gonna go ahead and cut the smoker off. It'd be nice and easy if we could just go ahead and cut around the circumference of it. But unfortunately, it looks like there's more welds underneath. Hope you got a smoking good deal on that one. This thing ever smokes.
Because this is a party trailer, it's about function as much as form. We need to smoke and grill like only Texans can. Something completely custom. So I made a call to the pros.
What's up, Bill?
What's happening, man?
What's up, bro?
These things look good, man.
Yes, sir. We got our beautiful heavy-duty barbecue safe smoker and a solid stainless steel industrial gas grill, man, that can handle the vibrations of the road. Built all by hand right here in Houston.
Craftsmanship looks great.
That's all primer for you, ready for that beautiful paint job you're going to put on it. And I'm excited to see what you guys can do with it.
Let's get it off and get it going. Time to get to work.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's a real critical part of building this party trailer is getting the cooking and preparation areas all laid out right. We got some really cool custom grills made for this thing, and super important. This time around, we're gonna make sure every part has a purpose and everything is where it's supposed to be. To improve the functionality, we're putting the grill and the smoker on the back of the trailer.
What we're gonna do is take the existing barbecue pit and we're gonna drop it down, because if we were just to make these fit right here, it would be way up here. And you can't cook meat like that. You're gonna burn the chicken. This is a stronger joint than just butting something up and welding it all the way around. So we're gonna make a 45 here and then an offset 45 right here to kick back. Some people would just cut this off and just throw a tube down and kick her over. That's not how we do things here at Extensive. Woo! You need me to hold it, Jimmy? Pick up on it so I don't mind. Oh! I was just gonna get a hammer. That works too. We're gonna use 3x3 steel so it'll hold up all that weight. Alright, so I see we dropped them down about 8 inches, so we're not going to reach up too high. Go ahead and mount these pits and drill some holes for the mounting bolts.
Yeah, straight. Whoa, down a little bit. Hold up. That looks good, huh, Jamie?
Looks nice. Step down the frame, everything. It's gonna make it super easy to cook.
Perfect height, yeah.
You know, Tim and John have really been putting a lot of work on the F350, but it's heading in the right direction. Now they're lining up the rear axle to get it connected to the 4-lane.
What we're doing now, we got the axle where it needs to be. And with the bars that we have, we're designing some brackets that go around the rear end and connect the bar to the rear end. So right now, John's just kind of sketching something out. We'll give it to Rudy. He'll burn us 4 of them out. We'll punch a hole in it and put them on the rear end. Looks good.
4. Good beat, Juggy.
Hey, boss. And what's the plan?
We need 4 of these.
For a truck this size, we always try to over-engineer it. In that case, we use 1/4-inch plate for all the brackets and tabs on this truck, which will make it a whole lot stronger. We're gonna make sure that's flush with the rear end. When we do that, we know this is in line with this one, that one's in line with that one, because this is straight all the way across. We always want to double check all these measurements to make sure everything's 100%. When you look at this tire, it'll match that tire perfectly and they'll track together all the way down the road. If not, you'll get it tracking like this and you'll see the back end of the truck either going that way or that way because the axle's not exactly centered.
The reason we weld the insides first before we box it is it makes it a lot stronger. There's a lot more weld to the axle. A lot of people will make these already boxed in. They'll place them on the axle. Well, you could only weld the outsides. You cannot get to the inside. So we like to do it like this, so it's stronger. Some pretty good welds there. Myself a pat on the back.
Now that John's got all this welded in, it's really strong. With some pipe rolled across here, some other pipe crossing it, it'll be fully welded all the way around, and it's gonna make a shape that's gonna make it extra strong.
Yeah.
We're gonna trace this one where it's gonna intercross each other. We'll cut this one will weld to this one, and this one will continue all the way to the rear end.
This is gonna be extra fun. The only problem with running all this pipe work like we do is you never get a simple 90-degree cut or a 45-degree cut. Everything's a weird coat that you gotta do to make one pipe tie into the next. It's never really easy. It's always a challenge. But if you take your time and cut a little bit at a time, grind a little bit at a time, make it fit right, it'll just make the weld look a whole lot better with a tight fit.
Time. It just takes time.
Really rough shape. We've replaced all the old sketchy rear metalwork with a brand new rear suspension. We're gonna mock it all up with the existing 4-lane bars.
That looks like shit, man. Hot thread here.
This bar is not only short, it's also bent at the end.
From a splice. I guess they ran out of material spliced. I mean, that's one thing you don't do. Is splice a 4-lane bar.
If we'd have left this like this and like this, nobody would have ever said the first builder did that. It'd have been on extensive.
No, we can't have that. We gotta make it look right and perform right.
So what we're gonna do is go ahead and build 2 new upper bars for this. You see right here where this one's all bent. They had this much of one stick left over and then this much of another stick left over. It looks like they just butted it together, beveled it, and then welded it to make one long pipe. The way it's welded together right here, it gives it a point to where it's been heated up. It could be brittle, or it could just break off altogether because it won't hold. So we don't want to take a chance in something they spliced together. So we just went and got a whole new piece of DOM. That's going to make it what we need, as strong as we need, as straight as we need, and it's going to... These are our new weld-in bungs, and the weld will go from there to there, so when it gets powder coat and everything is done, it'll look real nice and smooth. Perfect. All right, John, weld it out.
Party trailer shows up to events, the owner wants this thing to grab all the attention. Heath and John are going to make this thing happen with custom seats, bar tops, and a ton of audio.
Got it? Yep. Bingo then. It's all you. For the countertop, what we're actually going to do is make an acrylic sandwich that's going to be lit up in the center with LEDs. The hard part is going to be cutting the brittle material without breaking it. Are you lining up on this corner?
Yes.
Well, then we're there. The last thing we have left to do is cut out the opening for the ice chest. Got this piece of MDF cut out as a template. Look at that. All we're going to do is transfer it into plastic now. Nice. The top, so we can get the lighting in it. I'll use the black plastic as my template and just follow my plastic around and it'll be a perfect copy of what I've already got. Continue the process all the way down as we get all the pieces made. Once they're done, all we gotta do is get someone to come clean up our mess. Yeah, good luck with that. All right, see what we got here. Nice. We decided to go with these boat seats. They can handle any kind of water, any rain, any mud, so that would work out pretty good, but we can't leave them alone. What we're going to do is we're going to take the company logo and we're going to put this on a piece of acrylic and light it up, mold it into the back of the seat, and that'll look pretty cool. All right, I've got all my badges made. So the next thing I got to do is I got to take and attach them to the back of the seat. So I'm using 1-inch PVC and attach it to the inside so that I can screw into that and not into the frame of the seat. I'll attach the badge to it. And these are just going to be some transfer marks. When the filler hits them, it'll pick up the marker. And then when I pull it off, that line will be in the bottom of my piece. So as I'm sanding, I know to come up to that line and stop, and that keeps everything straight. I worked at a trade school for probably almost 10 years. And one of the hardest things was teaching them to sand. Anytime they looked at sanding, one of the hardest things to do is just kind of get in your head and know that I gotta sand this. It's your space, spend your time, and just go to town. Now that we got all these logo badges roughed in and ready to go, next thing we're gonna do is put the party in them. We'll take them apart, get my elephant knife out, and get the carving on it so I can get these LED strips to fit. Once those are in, we'll get it wrapped, get it sealed up, and get them installed on the trailer. When Bill brought us this project, he told us one thing. This thing had to be the loudest thing in the park, the loudest thing at the show, the loudest anywhere it went. The name of the game here is just as many speakers as you can fit. Anywhere you can find a spot, you cram a speaker and make it loud. This thing's going to be so loud, it's going to have people thinking, what in the hell were they thinking when they did that? It's going to slap them right in the face.
You know, the bar top and seats, they're done. And we got the party trailer back from Powder Coat. We just got to hook everything up, and it's tailgate time.
Tom and I are doing the final install of the air tanks, bags, compressors.
Hooking up lights used to be difficult, but LEDs have made it easier by 100-fold. Small, waterproof, and durable enough to go anywhere. I'm adding about 170 feet of LED lights. And because you can never have too much sound, I'm putting in a soundelier. I hope the owner has some earplugs.
To say we worked a lot on this trailer is a total understatement. We put everything we can put in on this thing, and today we're going to give it back. What's
happening, man? Man, appreciate y'all meeting me out here at 1886 Humboldt Backyard Bar. This place is all about having a good time, having a couple of drinks, and just kicking back. What a better place to bring your trailer.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me out here. This place looks awesome.
Well, man, you said go crazy with it. We went insane with it. I can't wait for you to see this thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome. Definitely over the top.
That's so cool. I can't wait to see it. This is going to be great.
You ready to check this thing out?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, my. Dude, are you kidding me? Look at that thing. Holy shit. Wow. I've never even seen speakers like that before. This is just crazy.
Well, you wanted something to draw some attention, right?
Oh, dude. That thing's insane. I love it.
What's up, guys?
You have something to do with this thing?
A little bit. You all right?
Great.
What's up,
good
man?
now.
As you can see here, we touched every part of this trailer, put air suspension on the back, so it's totally adjustable with a big, heavy 4-link on it, so it looks mean and nasty, too.
Yeah, I love the 4-link. I can't wait to really get under there and look at everything you did. I can't wait to get it off-road, drop it down, bring it up. This is going to be perfect.
You had old smoker in the back and a grill up front that you found somewhere. I'm not real sure.
Yeah.
My boy's Pitmaker got you hooked up with the smoker and grill, centralized in the rear spot so you can, keep all the cooking back to the back and just worry about the party in the front.
The old barbecue, it was trash. Total garbage. And this new stuff, it's insulated. It's got all these layers. These guys are going to set me up with everything I need. And it's just so much better than before.
When it first came in, we sat down, we had tacos on it. First thing we figured out that it wasn't very comfortable to sit down and eat on. So we had to get comfortable seats in it.
It's such a good idea to use boat seats because instead of the wood, now I don't have to worry about it. No matter what I throw at it, I'm good to go.
Bill gave us one other thing he told us. It's got to be loud. We need to power 6 or 7 cars, we put it all into one. 6x9s down the side, really just firing right into your gut. We've got the 10s overhead. We got woofers down on the bottom. This thing is so loud, you'll be drawing people for at least a mile away.
It is loud.
That is making it a little bit better. We put lights everywhere. We even lit up the countertop. Lights in the seats, lights around all the rest of the speakers. This thing parties all day long.
The way they put my logos on everything and they light up, the attention to detail is just unreal. It looks like everything in excess. Exactly what I wanted.
You definitely got that. How about we fire this thing up and really see what it's about?
Oh,
Many 2-pound burgers or what?
Heck yeah, man. Texas-sized burgers for a Texas-sized party.
Wow. When Eric is checking this thing out, I can tell he's just amazed by what he's seeing right now. Check out the... I can't believe how much sound those put out. It's unbelievable.
Overall, I am just totally blown away. I asked him to go crazy with it, and it's just totally over the top. Built in. This is crazy. Thank you for everything. This thing's freaking awesome.
You got it, man.
I'm bringing it out to SEMA, Glamis. I'm going to put it out front of my shop up in New Hampshire. We're just going to have a party everywhere we go. Party on wheels. Thanks for everything.
Mm-hmm. The front suspension on the 2017 F350 is in way better shape than the rest of it. But we still have to clean up the shoddy metalwork before we even think about sending this out with our name on it.
All we're trying to do here is knock the high spots out of it. We're not trying to make it smooth and grind it to where it's going to be paintable. They're going to come back and put some body filler on it and be ready to paint.
Well, Tim did a great job grinding it off and cleaning it up for us. The next step that we will do, we'll come down with some Bondo. One nice trick that I've learned is for curves like these, you might just rub the Bondo on your finger like this, run it across, and you get a flatter surface that blends into the curve. And there comes the sanding next, which I'm finna start off with 36 grit, and then come back with 80 and finish it off. Now we're getting ready to prime it. The good thing about the primer is you'll be able to see some of the imperfections that are around here. Scratches from the 36, stuff like that will have to get addressed again. So there's no going back. Here it has to be done right, no matter what.
You guys did a great job on this. This thing's looking good. Ready to blow this thing apart and get it painted and coated, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? A bolt water and another bolt. Just when I think I've seen it all. This bolt's function was to hold this hanger to the frame, but I don't know what that bolt's function was. That's something new to me. That's custom. I guess we got a new berry for the tree.
Now we got everything stripped down. We're gonna send it out to powder coat, send the rest of the body work. In a couple days, we put it back together.
Where are these going?
Gotta find a new branch. Years ago, there used to be a big tree in the back of the lot, and everything we've cut off just get thrown around this tree. Eventually, a big storm came, knocked that whole tree down. Was coming up, started welding up here, and that's how the Tree of Shame got started. All this is stuff that other shops have done that we felt was unsafe. So then over the years, as you added another piece, another piece, another piece, it's now growing like an oak tree. It's just growing up and up and up. True to form today, it just grows a little bit bigger, gets a couple more branches onto it.
I think that's it. Shoot, 20 more years, it'll be as tall as the other one?
Maybe taller.
5 years?
5 years.
All right, well, shoot. Let's get back to it.
Bring this in.
Got that, right? I know somebody got that.
You know, there's a lot of work had to be done in this big blue F-350, but now's the time to give it back to CJ and his family.
Art Museum.
It's a cool spot, huh?
It is. I like the murals and everything, but you gave me a call and I don't think we're here to look at paintings.
Definitely not going to look at paintings today. Got something else for you to look at.
Yeah.
You ready to check this thing out?
I'm ready to check it out.
CJ has a whole 350 to join the team.
It's hauling! Man, that's crazy. I love it. That looks good. Hell yeah, man. God.
I know it's been a while since you've seen that.
It has, man. That looks so good. That is a killer setup. Killer setup. That's gonna look awesome at shows. Hey!
Hey!
My wife's here. Surprise! What a surprise. Awesome work. Looks good.
Thank you.
Look who it is.
Little one, what's up? Bill had the whole family here, the whole fleet, and it was just super cool.
CJ, when this thing came in, you know, you couldn't even drive it, much less put this thing to work. Once we started getting into this thing, tearing it apart, it was just nightmare after nightmare.
Like opening a can of worms. It just never stopped. We went from front to back and got it rolling further now.
Safety wasn't a big concern with the last shop, I guess.
As you can see right now, problem solved. All in the car.
Yep.
If you see on the front axle was just garbage.
Yeah, it was bad.
It just looked like it was gonna fall apart any second. We ground off all the old welds, re-welded everything, body worked and painted, made this thing look good. I mean, this thing's coming at you, you see it, so it's gotta look good.
Yep.
And from that, you see the new 4-link bars going all the way back to the new bracketry on the axle. They had spliced together 4-link bars. Get that out of here.
Yeah.
That's all on our Tree of Shame.
Yeah. Looks good.
So we got it all bolted to the frame nice and strong, and we have tube work underneath there, connecting from side to side. Not just, strong to do its job. It's got some style to it.
Definitely. And now it looks amazing. The tubing, the support, it's just good that he went through every inch of this truck to make sure that it was perfect.
As far as the rear axle, we just started fresh, cut everything off, welded everything up, and just made you some cool bag mounts, 4-link mounts, and it's all artwork. It's a piece of art underneath there.
And now we get to haul with it.
That's it. Put it to work. Looking back on this project to see how bad it actually was to where it is now, having to rebuild all the underneath of this thing to make it safe for CJ and his family, it's just something we had to do. We had to make sure it's right.
Bill, man, you killed it. From the suspension, everything you touched, amazing work, amazing work. I get to haul, my family's safe in it. I couldn't be happier, man. To be able to use this truck and have my family with me on these trips, is awesome. I feel safe, and I have a very reliable truck to get from my house to each show.
You know, most of the time when you're building a project, you start fresh. You know, this project we get in A to C and ended up going all the way to Z. I mean, there's a bunch of hidden issues that we had to address. I mean, that's what we do. Make it safe, make it cool,